is the true villain of the show.
Wow.
And I showed him my Twitter, and he says that I'm excessive. I believe that's a compliment.
Oh, hey.
Yo.
It's Before the Growl. I'm John. That's Andy Kamenetzky. That's Emily Hebel. And
Look
walking
who it
into the studio,
is.
ladies and gentlemen, fresh
new
back
man.
from his honeymoon is Brian Cohen, who we have not seen for 2 weeks. All right, you went on a cruise to Alaska with Allison.
right.
This was a delayed honeymoon.
Right, about 2 years ago, we got married. So
Okay. Scale of 1 to 10, how was it?
Oh, easily a 10.
That good?
Yeah, it was. I was thinking about it earlier. It's probably the best vacation trip I've ever taken.
Why?
The location, I feel first, Alaska.
And you've always been wanting to go there.
I've always,
right?
I've never
And
been
you've
to
never
Alaska,
been.
right? Allison had lived there for a summer during college, so she had kind of.
So she was familiar with it.
A little familiar.
All right, here I'm going to ask a series of dumb questions. Here's the first one. I'm assuming it's summer in Alaska, right?
Yes.
Like the light, it stays light until late at night.
They didn't get dark till about 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Not one drop of rain for the whole week we were there. So that was
Perfect.
That's a home run.
The water was nice and calm pretty much the whole time. It wasn't choppy seas, nothing like that. So that was amazing.
Any cruise ship calamities? You know, we've heard so much about cruise ships.
Right.
Like somebody gets sick or somebody gets a virus, so they run out of food, or the sewage backs up. Any bad cruise mishaps?
cruise.
No, nothing that we experienced. I guess one of our sea days we were going out to the glaciers, and somebody on board had like a medical emergency. So we had to divert. We ended up making an extra stop in Juneau, which wasn't like part of the thing.
Which
And
is
they
the
got
capital of
evac.
Alaska, is it
Yeah,
not?
I think so. Yeah, they had like the Coast Guard come out and kind of evac them from the boat. So that was the only
I
like
hope
thing.
you yelled at these people for ruining your
No,
honeymoon.
I mean, we got to see Juneau, so it was like, oh, it was an extra stop, you know,
all right.
and I guess they were okay, so everything was good. You know, we got a little bit extra out of it.
All right. I've only been on one cruise, and it was only for 3 days. So you went like
It was
4 times as long as I did,
it was
right?
8 days, 7 nights.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So one of the things that was great when I went was the food was awesome, and you could eat anytime you wanted.
Yeah.
Same story for you?
Yes, there was one place open always 24/7, which was amazing.
Is it buffet?
No, so we went on Virgin's a little different. They do more like restaurant style.
Okay.
There's like 6 restaurants on board, so we did a different restaurant every night for practically. And then their like galley food, you know, cafeterias, they serve you still. So it's all pretty much restaurant style kind of eating.
Okay, here's a weird question. Is that included in the price? Like
Yes.
once you pay for the cruise, you just
It's like an all-inclusive.
Yes,
package.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
All-inclusive
And then the only
resort.
thing that's not included is like the alcohol, but we got like a small, you know, $250 package, and that lasted us the whole week.
Oh, man, this sounds killer.
How
your favorite
often did you leave the boat?
I think we were 3 days. 3 days
Okay.
because 2 Alaska stops. We stopped in Ketchikan, which was incredible. I got the little merch on today.
Yeah,
you know,
good.
Sitka, which I feel like was my favorite stop. We saw wildlife crazy out there.
What
then whales, both orca.
And now, like, in terms of weather, are we talking like 70 degrees or like
yes, I'd say 70s because
you weren't wearing a lot of jackets?
No, yeah. Even I brought one rain jacket. I didn't wear it one time, and we put it on at night. And it was
this
even
is
still a
awesome.
little too hot. Right, we
Yeah.
got lucky, and we were in Prince Rupert, British Columbia, one stop in Canada.
Okay.
And all the locals there were like, "Oh, this is the 1 week it hasn't rained. It's been raining, you know, every
Oh.
other week the last 2 months, and it's supposed to rain again as soon as you guys leave." So we got lucky that you know.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. And Allison feels the same way. She had as much fun as you.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
had a
Was
great
there
time.
any fun entertainment? Was like there like a comedian or like a juggler or like
they
whatever else you can
A
see on
juggler?
cruises? Yeah, sometimes they're on cruises.
Funny you say that. 'Cause
There
they
was.
did-
Yes.
That is a pull right there, man.
They did
I'll tell you.
A comedian. We saw him during the day. He was okay. It wasn't the best comedy show. But they did have like a circus delay, kind of acrobat juggling,
Okay.
you know,
See?
trapeze
Not
show.
crazy.
A bunch of singers. We went to like a dinner show. It was like a singing contest. The
Oh,
entertainment
you would
on
love
the-
that.
yes.
Tell
was-
me
it was
the
great.
2 of you participated in the singing contest.
No, we didn't say it was like it was the cast members, but they didn't. have karaoke
Mason and
every
I,
night.
they would have had to hold us off with a hook from going up. By the way, guys, Mason is officially bored out of his mind. Is he texting you too?
He hasn't been, but I've been seeing his posts on Instagram.
So
plenty of
Lots of
like
posting
he
on
has
Instagram.
never texted me when he's been on vacation
Well,
ever.
he apparently is in Luca's hometown in Slovenia because he posted about that. I'm like, okay, are
Well, all
you
the
stalking
Lakers are
Luca?
there. right now.
Yeah.
He says, I'm missing some crazy stuff back there, trying to follow along. What are you saying about Mark Walter? And I said, a lot.
And also, brother, be on vacation. Be with Juan.
Right.
Be in Slovenia or whatever else it is.
August was a safe time to be out of the spotlight.
Yeah.
Rex was planning this at a moment because we know he loves the spotlight, but he's figuring there's nothing really to talk about. If I'm going to duck the spotlight, it's August.
But here's the difference. None of us, and nor did we expect to, ever heard from Brian on his honeymoon. No. Like, we wanted him to go have fun, like, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to check in with you.
My phone was off for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. 0% chance Brian wouldn't even come back.
I mean, I was driving in today. I was like, oh, this is kind of depressing now. Driving through all the buildings and stuff. I'm like, where's the trees?
Was there anything that was on the boat, part of the cruise, that you, like, didn't expect and was a nice surprise? Like, could you bungee jump off the side of the boat? Could you hit golf balls?
How was the room itself?
Could you? Yeah.
The room was okay. I would say this ship it's definitely catered to more adults. So there's not as lot of.
There weren't a lot of kids on there.
No kids at all.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was the selling
no
point.
Slime.
For us. Right. No slime. No slides. There's not like a lot of pools like the other ones have. There's no like the other.
So this was not like an episode of The Love Boat.
Did you make friends?
Yeah.
We did a couple. Yeah, there was one of the restaurants they have on board is a Korean barbecue.
And
so you sit down with
I would
tables
love
of
that.
8 to 10.
Yeah,
and then they give you free drinks because it's like part of their restaurant there.
And everybody's in a great mood because
exactly.
Well, so many people, Brian, like, and I'm on this list. Michael Thompson's on this list. Won't go on a cruise because of what could happen.
Right.
You sound like you would do it again.
Oh, I mean, we've already been looking for like a next Virgin cruise of.
No kidding, it was that good.
It was that good. We were that impressed.
Virgin's got you.
Yeah, Virgin's got me. And
I'm so happy for you. This is awesome. Well, it's great to have you back.
Thank you.
Nothing at all happened while you were gone.
Right, all the big stuff.
Coming up next, Andy and I will get into the latest on the Lakers, the latest on the Clippers, the latest on the Dodgers, the latest on the Rams. None of it is boring. See you in 2 minutes.
Tired of watching life from the bench? It's time to get in the game. Globe Life is looking for people who want more than just a job. Set your own schedule and help families protect what matters most. No experience? No problem. Training is provided, and you don't need anything to get started. It's not a desk job. It's a shot at building your legacy on your own terms. Your road to the championship starts at GlobeLifeCareers.com. Globe Life, official life insurance of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Call Jacob. All right, Cappy, listen, here's the deal. When you get into some sort of an accident, the insurance company is going to probably be the first person that calls you, and they're going to try to rush you to a settlement. They want to record you when you're talking. You got to be very careful when you're talking to these insurance companies.
They also will probably downplay your pain. Hey, bro, my back is killing me. It's no big deal. It's going to go away in a couple of days. Do not let them do that. You call Jacob and Ronnie.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob, 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
ESPN 710 Los Angeles.
Sports. And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Arnold, it is on. for your Wednesday afternoon.
Ireland, best show on the radio.
Here we go, the Wednesday, August 19th edition of the biggest show on the radio. The Hall of Famers, well, Johnny I's here. The one and only John Ireland, as Mason Vacation Week continues. The one and only man from Locked On Lakers. And yes.
May I see it? Really? Please.
You may. Our Boogie Nights fellow, Andy Kamenetzky. AK's here for Mace. We'll continue to talk about the Lakers saga with the Buss family, Dodgers baseball, and so much more. Producer Emily's here, and producer Brian Cohen. BC is back from his honeymoon. How about that? Plus the social team in the back. Get in that YouTube chat, suckers. Let's do it, the biggest show on the radio.
So with that said, let's get this show on the road.
Mason and Ireland, your Wednesday afternoon in the Southland right now.
Good afternoon. Look who's back. Brian Cohen manning the wheels of steel after his Alaskan cruise honeymoon. And if you weren't listening before the growl, BC gave us a complete rundown of the trip. But the bottom line it for the new audience, Brian, you called it the trip of a lifetime,
Trip
correct?
of a lifetime. 10 out of 10 would recommend everybody in their life has to see Alaska. And a cruise there is a pretty fine way of doing it.
So why did you pick Alaska? I'm glad you did, because you did. I mean, Allison obviously had been there before, and she wanted you to see it. And
yeah, it was one of those. We both wanted to see it, something new we haven't done together. And we really wanted to go overseas in Europe and stuff, but it was a lot more expensive and,
of course,
a little less practical than just cruising
Love
up to
it.
Alaska.
Love it. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Absolutely nothing happened while you were gone.
I've heard.
Well, you said before the growl, BC, that you had your phone off the whole time. Were you aware of any of this until you got off the boat?
Like, did you know the Lakers had been sold during the cruise?
I did not for a few days after, and then I kind of saw the Jeanie Buss stuff, so I was like, I don't really know what's going on here at all.
Because like I've had that experience before where I have really gone off the grid. Like one time it was on a cruise. Actually, I did a Disney cruise several years ago, and I really did turn my phone off because the roaming charges are insane.
Right.
And also, I wanted to take the opportunity to go offline because I had no other choice. Another time, I was forced into going on a camping trip, and the trip that I was on, really, there was no reception at all.
And I'm guessing you didn't hate that.
Well, no. I actually loved that piece of it. I'm just not a big camper. I don't hate it, but I don't necessarily love it either. But this was during the off season of the Russell Westbrook trade and then not keeping Alex Caruso. So I didn't know any of the Caruso piece of this, some of this other stuff happened until I started driving back. And then all of a sudden, like my phone started just blowing up. I actually pulled over because I was so floored. I'm like, okay, I need to catch up with this insanity.
Speaking of insanity, this Mark Walter, Jeanie Buss versus her siblings story is like, Andy, I know we've said this before, is like writing a sitcom or a movie. It really is right out of Succession. I have not talked to you since all this happened. For people that don't know, Andy and his brother Brian host the Locked On Lakers podcast, which Andy is not allowed. Bergman will not allow Andy to say it, but I will.
Don't worry, it's in the open, too, of the show today.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, if enough people other than me are allowed to say it, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'm totally covered.
Locked On Lakers, Andy and Brian Kamenetzky, YouTube component if you want to watch. Okay. What has the last 3 days been like on the Locked On Lakers podcast?
Well, I'll put it this way. I put out a poll on the YouTube page asking Lakers fans sort of how they felt in the wake of the post-Mark Walter sale to Bob Iger and Josh Kushner. This was before, by the way, the news of the Buss family infighting even broke. Just at the time, we only knew Mark Walter selling to Iger and Kushner. 83% was somewhere between pessimistic and not sure how, I think. That was before where we are now. I got to figure this is somewhere now, at least in my fan base, which is not small in terms of the listenership, and thank you. I imagine it is close to around 90-ish% of fans feeling somewhere between pessimistic and I have no idea what to think, what the bleep is going on.
Okay, so here's where I kind of woke up this morning. And Emily, I don't know if you're in the same place I am, but my guess is you are a little bit. I'm beginning to think that Jeanie and her brothers aren't the big story. Bob Iger and Josh Kushner aren't the big story. The big story is what in the world is going on with Mark Walter. I mean, this started as shock out of the blue, nowhere, that the Lakers were being sold. Now it came out yesterday that, just this a little inside, but you guys will understand it when I explain it. The Dodgers deal at Spectrum at Sportsnet LA and the Lakers deal at Spectrum Sportsnet, those are both companies owned by Time Warner, are the two best local TV deals in the world. They're paid billions to broadcast, and it came out as almost a throwaway that Mark Walter tried to get out of the Time Warner deal.
It seems like he needs liquidity fast.
But those deals, and it was Time Warner who said, no, we're not giving you that much money up front. We're going to sell this to somebody who will take on our debt, but that we're not going to pay you to get out of it. And then it just went away. Now, I guess if we had Mark on the phone or one of his representatives, they could say, well, look, those networks have been for sale. The local TV business for regional sports networks is going belly up all over the country. We're just trying to salvage the deal, but we're trying to get out of the deal before they go bankrupt and get out of it for us. So I suppose that's possible. But Andy, his English Premier League team is rumored to be up for sale. The Lakers just sold for $12.5 billion. Stan Kasten came out and said, this is a Lakers story. It's not a Dodgers story.
We said that a week ago, though. Said it like a week and a half ago.
How is it not a Mark Walter story? What? I mean,
it's clearly a Mark Walter story. Again, like Stan Kasten's saying that A, was like a week and a half ago. B, what the hell else is he going to say? Like, he's not, even if he knows deep down, yeah, this is eventually going to affect us, he's not going to say right now, oh, yeah, this is definitely going to affect us. By the way, as we're looking to make a playoff push and try to three-peat, he's not going to say that now regardless.
But, I mean, I don't think any of us would be surprised if in a month the Dodgers got sold, would you?
No, like, it is clear. Mark Walter not just needs money, like, and liquidity. He needs in the tens of billions of dollars in liquidity. Like, he is in a lot of financial and legal trouble right now. Like, there at this point, there's no way around it.
And with that, if for some reason he does sell the Dodgers in the next month, I know Ohtani said that he's not going to do anything about it, exercise his important man clause or whatever that was, where he said when he signed his deal with the Dodgers that if Mark Walter and or Andrew Friedman is no longer a part of the Dodgers, he could void his contract. Who knows? I know Ohtani's saying that now, but who knows if he can't get the money that he was deferred? Who knows if he can't get?
Yeah,
if I had deferred money.
Andy and I were talking about that, right before we came on. That if I was one of these people with deferred money, I'd be nervous.
Well, okay, Emily knows. Basically, since the Ohtani deal, and I think a lot of our regulars may remember this, I've had this running joke where I have said, I want to see Mark Walter's books. And at the time, just so it's clear, I was not picturing something like this. Like, I did not expect this. But the idea of this much continual deferred money and being able to guarantee, to the people you're deferring this money to and the league and whoever, yeah, we can make all of this whole. This all works. I was like, I'm not saying he's running a Ponzi scheme. I just want to see how these books work. Like, I just want to see how he's doing this. In retrospect, I may have been prophetic about this, John, and I didn't even know.
By the way, let me and thank you to Dave in the YouTube chat for correcting me. I forgot. Time Warner, when it started, they eventually sold to Charter. Yes. So it's Charter that owns Spectrum, but still the terms of the deal are the same. And I would be nervous. So
when we've talked about the Dodgers, we've always talked about how valuable this regional sports network is to allowing the Dodgers to spend the money they can, because it is one of the few RSNs that is actually seemingly, as we think, making money.
And so you don't think that it's just us, like LA Sports Radio, that is making a big deal out of Mark Walter. Here's Bill Simmons on his podcast talking about this.
It's starting to seem like he might actually go to jail. He's already shed himself of the Lakers. He's selling his Chelsea stake reportedly right now, which was like 12.5%. And my guess is the Dodgers are going to be next. So what is this? Is this like are we moving toward like a Bernie Madoff, Ivan Boesky type of situation? Will the words Mark Walter today pled guilty ... Will that sentence be said in the next 2 years?
I think it's really possible. I also think the Trump administration has not put away very many billionaires. And so I'm sure they work something out.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a single safe asset in the entire Mark Walter cinematic universe. Like, I think it's potentially all for sale. And I do think that the Dodgers being sold, I think all of this is on the table.
Well, but that's why this is such a bigger story than just the Lakers. Like, if he has to sell the Dodgers, who spent so much money over the last 7 years that they're going to single-handedly create the baseball lockout next year. They also won 2 titles. He's had all this extra money to buy the last 2 World Series titles. The Dodgers are back-to-back champions, partly because of all the money this guy spent.
And that he was talking with Sam Koppelman. He was the other person that you heard talking there. So, Andy, I hope Mark Walter has been a great steward for the Dodgers. Obviously, they've won 2 titles in a row. We were all really excited when he bought the Lakers because we saw what he did with the Dodgers. And now, I mean, the name that keeps popping into my head is Bruce McNall. For people, Emily walked in, she said, "Who's that?" I forget that younger people may not know that Dr. Buss in the 80s decided to sell the LA Kings, the hockey team. And he sold him to Bruce McNall, and we all love this guy. He was great on the air. He was great off the air. He was super nice. Immediately trades for Wayne Gretzky and gives him, because Edmonton didn't have the money to pay him, and Bruce basically gives Wayne the moon. Mm-hmm. And the Kings are in the Stanley Cup Finals, and everybody is excited about hockey in L.A., and Bruce is like the emperor. And then we realized the emperor had no clothes. Well, he didn't have the money. And now I keep thinking, I hope that's not the case with Mark Walter, because I like him, and I like all my friends at the Dodgers and all my friends at the Lakers, and I want to see everybody keep working. But I think to not at least consider that is pulling the hat over your eyes,
well,
right?
I think, too, we're starting to reach this place, and I think this is going to be something that all leagues moving forward become more cognizant of. The idea of paper money, like paper liquidity, versus actual liquidity.
But with the valuations that they are, almost no one in the world has paper liquidity that is the valuations of these sports teams, because they talked about this in the Bill Simmons podcast, where Matt Ishbia is coming under the same issues because it was having to do with mortgages and things like that. And Mark Walters is life insurance, and that it's in the weeds of like how much percentage.
It's OPM. He's buying these things with other people's money.
But also too, like, it's, if you start looking now at what we know with Mark Walter and his business practices. First of all, they've been investigated before. This is not the first time Mark Walter's ever been investigated. It's just the first time at this scale, and seemingly with him in this much legal and financial jeopardy. But it's starting to feel like a lot of his business practices was just gobbling up other businesses. I don't want to say quite on IOUs, but without everything completely paid up. It's almost like the way a hoarder has 7,000 figurines in their house. He's just had all of these businesses sort of hoarded up, but he hasn't necessarily had all of the liquidity that he might need in, say, a case where he needs loans. And then you end up doing these, for lack of a better way of putting it, self-dealing loans, and they're not properly disclosed, and then you end up in this kind of trouble.
Well, and the big story we've been talking about for the past couple of days is this infighting between the Buss kids, how Jeanie's on one side and the other 5, want to sell. In my mind, Andy, that story pales in comparison to what's going on with Mark Walter. That's the big story. Like, Bill Simmons just suggested that Mark Walter might go to jail.
Yeah, I think that's probably getting ahead of things.
Right.
With all due respect to Bill Simmons Esquire, that's
probably
a little
right. And like I think it was Sam who mentioned in there that that President Trump has put away very few billionaires. So
that part's
Mark
true.
Mark may come out of this okay, but Andy, I don't think he comes out of this owning the Lakers or the Dodgers.
Look,
Do you?
I think there's he's definitely not owning the Lakers. That's done. He's not owning the Lakers. Do I think the Dodgers are a live possibility? Yeah, and I do look, do I think Bill is correct, Bill Simmons, that Mark Walter is facing legal jeopardy that could potentially turn into prison? I suppose so. Like, depending the scale of this, and if, Bill referenced somebody like Bernie Madoff. Like, if this starts getting to like a true Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, you are ripping off other people, then yeah, he could be facing prison. I just don't think we're there yet.
If for some reason he sells the Dodgers, or if for some reason something happens to the Dodgers, how does this affect the MLB in the whole thing of like saying the Dodgers spend so much money, which is why we're going to have a lockout? Does it in a weird end around way that nobody saw coming help avoid the lockout? Because if the Dodgers aren't doing what they've always been doing for the past 4 years, then do we still have a labor problem? These are all questions that are worth asking, and we'll get into all of them. Andy's in for Mace. I'm John. We'll get with Andy on the Clipper thing. We'll also talk about the Dodgers. The Dodgers are in Colorado. They won again last night. But did you see what the Brewers did? The Brewers are taking on the personality of a juggernaut that cannot be stopped. We'll get into all of it. Mason in Ireland, Andy in for Mace, ESPN LA.
And it is the 15-minute mark right here on 710 ESPN, on the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
The 15-minute mark on 710. Fueled by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
In that time it took to hear your favorite takes and all that fun and frivolity, you could be pulling out with a fresh oil change. No waiting, no appointment, just in and out in about 15 minutes. Bam! So you've got more time for what matters. Visit SoCalOilChange.com.
In just 15 minutes, you can boost your vehicle's performance and save money while doing it. Visit SoCalOilChange.com now for value pack coupons and keep your car and your wallet running strong.
The 15-minute mark on 710, made possible by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings, a spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed and fiery. Chili Crisp. That's our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. Get them today, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
Hey, it's Chris Morales. Your heart works hard for you every day. That's why taking care of it should be a year-round priority. Providence brings together some of the brightest minds in cardiac care, keeping you in the game with expert care, advanced treatments, and compassionate support right here in Southern California. Whether you're looking to be more active, make healthier choices, or stay on top of routine screenings, small steps can make a meaningful difference in your long-term health. Providence is here to support healthier hearts in every community. Learn more at providence.org/SoCalHeart.
Hey guys, Sedano here, and summer's here. Everyone's getting together. So why are you still living with those same old floors? Upgrade with Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. They've got millions of in-stock options, including CoreTech, the original 100% waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof, luxury vinyl flooring in stock and can be installed in a few days. Visit the showroom next to the Commerce Casino off the 5 freeway or online at HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. No games, no gimmicks, because no sale beats wholesale.
Kenny here to tell you about the Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. It's a fruity candy flavor explosion. A zero-sugar treat that's Sweet Tooth approved. These can take care of my candy cravings and provides a tasty caffeine kick without all the sugar. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a time out to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Best show on the radio, and it's all I listen to all day, and every day I can't wait to listen to you guys.
That is so nice.
So nice, you man.
Mason and Ireland.
These guys are a whole bunch of fools.
Back to the guys.
All right, Mason and Ireland. Andy Kamenetzky is in for Mace, and on what has been a crazy week. The Dodgers, who we were just talking about, who may or may not be for sale, we're not sure, are in Colorado. They won again last night. Shohei Ohtani hit another home run. But did you see what the Brewers did?
Yeah.
All right. They beat the Mariners. Now, keep in mind, the Mariners were in the American League Championship Series last year. They're not as good this year as they were last year. But the Brewers routed the Mariners last night 22-0. The only other 22-0 games since 1901 were Pirates over the Cubs in 1975 and Indians over the Yankees in 2004. It was so bad that when it was 19-0 and the bases were loaded, the Brewers flew out to Julio Rodriguez, the all-star center fielder, for the Mariners, who was in center field, and he did this.
Shutout margin of victory is 20-0 as Yelich flies out for the second out, and there is run, number 20, but
he threw it up.
He threw it out. He did. He threw it into the bullpen. He thought it was the last out.
He thought that was the third out. 3 more runs, 22-0.
Yeah.
And
really hurt Leo Rivas's ERA. The infielder that was in there for an inning and gave up he gave up 9 runs, but as to your point, John, only 7 of them were earned.
There you go.
He's no Kike Hernandez.
No, he's not.
Andy,
no Miggy Rojas.
I've said the Dodgers are no longer my pick to win the World Series this year. To me, they look tired. They look spent after 2 long seasons winning the title each year. But Eduardo Perez from ESPN says, I'm not focused on the right thing. He thinks Dave Roberts will manage differently in the postseason. Here's Eduardo.
The way he manages in the postseason is completely different than the way he manages during the regular season. And right now, he doesn't trust his bullpen much. He's looking at it. He understands that his starters are his strength. So what does he do in the postseason? Those starters, some of them, will become relievers, and those guys will be pitching in high-leverage situations. So don't expect the same guys, the usual suspects that we see during the regular season, have control of those high-leverage innings come postseason, as long as Dave Roberts is pushing the buttons.
I'm still worried about him. I think the offense is as big of a concern as the defense. How about you?
I understand what Eduardo Perez is talking about, but I don't think it's as simple as he's making this out to be. Because, for example, the starters that he's talking about come playoff time, moving to the pen in a way that Dave Roberts can manage them that way, a lot of them have been struggling or having question marks.
Like Robleski.
Robleski has been bad since the All-Star break.
He's a good example of what I was talking about earlier about somebody that looks tired.
Emmett Sheehan, he's just now getting called up because Edwin Diaz got sent down. But Emmett Sheehan had been in the minors because post-All-Star break, he's been bad. Eric Lauer has not been as effective as he was to start the season. Ohtani has not pitched since July. Tyler Glasnow has not pitched since May. Like, theoretically, Roki Sasaki could be one of those bullpen options in a perfect world, but right now he's been one of their better starters. Like, you actually
also his command has been a little all over the place.
Right. And
which isn't great as a reliever.
It's also papering over the fact that, like, Edwin Diaz was supposed to be that dude. Like, he was supposed to be the guy that you close out with, and then if, say, you move Emmett Sheehan to the pen or Sasaki to the pen, someone like that, Diaz is already there to close. You're basically papering over your problems in the 6th or 7th inning, and that's before you get into the issues with Kyle Tucker or Mookie Betts really looking his age. Like, I'm not saying that I think the Dodgers are dead in the water, but I'm saying the first step of them remaining undead It's the players performing. It's not Dave Roberts making decisions.
Right. And I'm in the YouTube chat, and there's a guy in there that says, same story, Ireland. You said it last year. You said it the year before. I didn't say it the year before. In 24, I picked them. Last year, I said they're not going to win 2 in a row. It's too hard. They did. They won 2 in a row. And for most of this year, I said, I'm not picking against the Dodgers. We've seen this movie, and we now know how it works. I am now picking against the Dodgers. They don't look right to me. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong, to be honest. I'm rooting for them. But I just think they do not look like a team that can breeze through the playoffs like they've done the last 2 years.
But they didn't breeze through the playoffs. I mean, this is the other thing of it.
They did last year. They had the one where they were down 2-1 one time.
The World Series, man. Like, Dave Roberts managed his ass off.
Yep.
Like, after Game 7, no ass left.
Yep.
And they still barely won that World Series. Like, they could have easily lost that series. And that's with Dave Roberts pushing every single right button. So, like, this stuff is hard even when guys are playing well, much less where they are now.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to touch on this. Emily, going back to that 22-0 game, you think there should be a mercy rule in baseball?
I think there has to be something like that. Nobody is coming back down 10. Oh, they did it before. I don't care. This is a August game on August 18th. You should just end the game. Save everybody relievers, save everybody time. There's no reason to be playing when you're down 19 and you have an infielder pitching the ball. There's absolutely no reason for that to happen.
Okay.
End the game.
Let me just come at you from a business standpoint.
You already have your ticket revenue?
Okay. All those commercials in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning are sold. You would
push them to the earlier in the thing, and
you'd have to do make good.
You'd have to know ahead of time that a blowout was coming.
You'd have
to. So let's say this is a scenario, and we're talking about the TV product,
right?
We do this sometimes too with our things. If we're going to end early, you just move those spots from the end of the broadcast to the middle of the broadcast.
But you can't know though that you're going to end early until you're in that moment.
Just move it.
What?
I don't think you're thinking this through, but. To your point, rainouts happen, and where you don't get all the spots in.
No,
so it wouldn't be the end of the world.
But the difference is that's one of those like act of God provisions. Like you can't control the rain or the weather. You can control a desire to push through an entire game.
What if you can end at 7?
Okay, how about this from Philip in the YouTube chat? Bettors are affected. If I bought a ticket, I want a full game. But that's who comes to me when I want to get rid of replay.
No, but
the bettors.
The question is about betting. So the game is already decided if they're down by 20.
Not in the eyes of a bettor, depending on if you bet like an over or under.
What I'm saying.
What
BC knows what I mean.
What if I bet on Shohei to get 3 hits and he only gets 1 at bat?
I understand that. But again, like you said, there's rainouts. They could happen. Like, I don't really care about what the bettors think. So that's Emily's rule. This is Emily, the commissioner. I don't care about bettors, what they think. And also, I think, let me revise
I would love to see a world with Commissioner Hebel.
Oh, it'd be fun.
Let me revise my
idea.
Emily
would be an
amazing
amazing
It would not
commissioner.
be boring.
No, that's why I want to see this.
To have the mercy rule. You have to play 7 innings, okay? Had to play 7 innings, so if you have those spots...
If you're up 22-0 in the 5th, you'll give me 2 more innings.
Exactly, and then you can move those spots that are in 8th and 9th innings to the front.
Good compromise. All right, coming up next, we'll ask Andy his thoughts on ESPN writes a story, and they say that Steve Ballmer is unlikely to be punished. And the league...
Well, that's not what they said. They said that at this far they have not seen direct evidence of him funneling money via cap circumvention, like direct evidence to pay off Kawhi Leonard under the table. They did not say that he was unlikely to be punished. That's not what they said.
Well, apparently that's what the league thought they said, because the league came out and said there's inaccuracies in this story. Nothing in here is right.
Now, that part you're correct about.
And we'll get into that next. First, yesterday, if you're listening to the show, you know that Jacob Memrani came in here. And Mason and I know Jacob personally. He's a personal injury lawyer. And let's face it, a lot of lawyers you can't trust. A lot of them are fly-by-night. They're just in it to grab your money and go. Jacob is the opposite. When you call him at 800-345-6789, the call is free. The consultation is free. And get this. You only pay Jacob if he wins your case. If he loses, you don't pay him a dime. That's peace of mind. Go to 800-345-6789 or call jacob.com. One more time, 800-345-6789. If you're a Sparks fan and you want to sit courtside at tomorrow night's Sparks game, visit Jacob on Instagram at call.jacob and look for the giveaway post. You and a friend can hang courtside, courtesy of Call Jacob. 800-345-6789, the law offices of Jacob Emrani.
High altitude, short rest, and a Western Conference battle awaits for the black and gold.
Oh, what a goal! Son of
LAFC hits the road looking for a bounce-back win as they invade Colorado.
LAFC!
Pre-game of LAFC versus Colorado Rapids starts tonight at 6 p.m. on the home of the black and gold, 710 ESPN and ESPN LA app.
When it's time for your next vehicle, make the winning play at George Chevrolet. It's Chris Morales telling you to go see John Good at George Chevrolet. With straightforward pricing, real savings, a great selection, and award-winning service, George Chevrolet is committed to earning your business by saving you money. Whether you're a first-time buyer, rebuilding your credit, or ready to upgrade, their team is here to help you find the right vehicle at the perfect price. Visit George Chevrolet off the 91 freeway in Bellflower or shop online at georgechevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Evan Cohen here. When it comes to your tires, you want the best quality, the best value, and the best service. When you buy tires at Midas with paid installation, their limited lifetime tire guarantee is included at no extra cost. Free flat repairs or replacements if needed, and complimentary maintenance like tire rotations and rebalancing every 5,000 miles. All included. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee. Only at Midas, the best around.
And it is Mason and Ireland, the OGs of LA Sports Radio.
Like, that's the problem in the world, is there aren't enough happy shows, fun shows.
Mason and Ireland.
710 ESPN.
All right, today it is Andy Kamenetzky and Ireland. Mace still gallivanting across Spain, and boy, is he bored. He's texting me. We worked together for 30 years. He never texts me and says, what are you guys talking about on the show? This morning, hey, what are you guys talking about? He's bored.
He's in Slovenia. He's in Luka's hometown.
I don't think he's necessarily bored. What I do think he is, though, is jealous and restless at the idea of this massive story has been going on while he's been gone.
Right.
I think that's really what it is. He can't stand being away from this.
So you have yet to have a chance to weigh in on this Clipper thing. And just to let you know how confusing this Clipper thing is, here in the YouTube chat, Vladimir Agayo. Jesus Christ, Ireland, you spend so much time talking about a team that's supposedly insignificant. They may be insignificant, Vladimir, but they're cheating, and they're about to get away with it. If you're okay with that, that's a you problem. What I want is, if it's okay to do what they did, I want the Lakers doing it. If I'm a Wolves fan, I want the Wolves doing it. If I'm a Celtics fan, I want the Celtics doing it. If I'm allowed to funnel money under the table to prospective free agents, and I've listened to every one of Pablo Torre's podcasts, all 15 of them, if you listen to those and you still don't think there was salary cap circumvention, come on and make your case. There are a couple of people trying to do that. But I would say 95% of the people who have taken the time to listen to the evidence have come to the same conclusion as me, that they're about to get away with something. It doesn't have anything to do with who the team is. It has, in my mind, Andy, to do with, okay, everybody can do this now. If everybody can do this now, I want to know about it. What do you think of this whole story that came out on ESPN, the way the league responded and said, the gist of the story, which was from Don Van Natta, Ramona, and Baxter Holmes, was
I can read directly. This is from the ESPN report you cited. Quote, the NBA has found no evidence showing the LA Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer, funneled money through team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in order to circumvent the salary cap, according to 3 people with knowledge of discussions between the two sides in recent days. Instead, the NBA is focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard to team sponsors constitutes a violation of the league rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention. 2 of the sources said the league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of failure to supervise employees, although it's unclear what specific rule the team would have violated or what the penalties would be. 2 of the sources said, as I noted on Twitter at Can Brothers in response to this, we appear to have reached the getting Al Capone on tax evasion phase of this investigation. Then the league issued their statement through Mike Bass. ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation, for which the NBA declined to cooperate, contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results of this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded.
In other words, the NBA is saying, don't believe everything you read on ESPN. Wait until we come out with our investigation. Yet, Andy, I've been saying for 3 months, this is exactly how this was going to go down, and nobody wanted to believe me.
Here's the thing, though. I actually think the league does want to levy a punishment of some kind, because if they didn't, they would just say now, during the offseason, we found nothing. Do this at a time when nobody's paying attention to the league, or, it'll turn out that the Lakers sell again, the Buss family is fighting and whatever. Like, you do that now, and then by the time the season actually starts up, because we societally have a 15-minute attention span, everyone will have forgotten. The fact that they're still doing this, to me, signals they want to levy some type of punishment. Here, to me, is sort of giving away the game in the ESPN piece. Quote, the league presented initial findings of its investigations led by law firm Wachtel, blah, 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 to the Clippers in late July, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. In recent days, both sides have been negotiating a resolution to the investigation. And this jumps out at me because it's been my read on this for a while. The league wants to land on a punishment for the Clippers and or for Kawhi that will not be litigated further. It will not be challenged.
That it closes the book on this
story. Good luck with that.
Well, it's like the episodes of Law and Order where you see Jack McCoy in a back room with the defense attorney. They're trying to come up with a plea bargain right now.
And you might say, if you've listened to all these popular podcasts, that there was whistleblowers. There were multiple whistleblowers. But the whistleblowers don't have, let's just say, a text from Steve Ballmer saying, hey, Aspiration CEO, here is the money. Please send it to Kawhi Leonard. Like, they have people that know this information, and it's whistleblowers. You yesterday said, I think, if you're a whistleblower and you're lying, you can be held. You can go to jail for that. But it's not that Steve Ballmer texted or emailed or put in writing or on record of doing this. That's why it's taken so long. And what Ramona said yesterday too is, like, if they had the evidence, and if it was as clear-cut as it was, this would have already have come out. But they haven't found exactly what they need, which is why it's taking longer.
Well, but they haven't found what they've needed, I think, to land on some type of punishment that they feel confident won't be challenged. Like, that to me seems to be the sticking point, is they don't want to go to arbitration.
For the one owner that actually probably is as liquid as he says he is.
Well, yes. And also, look, this is part of a pattern with Adam Silver, which is he doesn't like confrontation. Like, Adam Silver.
So he's doing everything he can to avoid it.
Well, he's a former lawyer. Lawyers often work out settlements before things actually go to trial.
Andy, you will love this from the YouTube chat. From @J909er.
Mm-hmm.
3 things Ireland doesn't get. 1, LA's hate for LeBron. 2, why no one cares about this Clippers story. And 3, the Cam brothers started the blame pie.
Yeah!
You did not start the blame pie. If you would have started the blame pie, you would have the blame pie.
This is how I know you stole it from me. You are paraphrasing a line from The Social Network, which was all about how Facebook was stolen from somebody else.
Right, but in this case, you are the Winklevoss. You and Brian are the Winklevoss twins, and Mason and I are Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I know.
If you would have invented Facebook, you would own Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but This Clipper thing, Andy, for no other reason than we need to know if Kawhi's going to Toronto, and we need to know it's Grady Dick and who else?
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, they're a really good player. Brandon Ingram, they're coming in. These teams need to know.
Well, also, too, like the Clippers are trying to get their cap in a place where they know, okay, can we actually make an offer for Peyton Watson?
Right.
Or for...
Because everybody's business is held up as long as they haven't announced this ruling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what kind of makes it crazy. All right, coming up next is Icebreakers. I am, as I've said many times on this show, the only people I'm really intimidated by or scared of when we play either Icebreakers or Game of Games, two people, Andy Kamenetzky and Greg Bergman, because you two are as competitive as me. No one else around here is. Trudell is, but he's never around doing the show when I'm doing it. But you are very when I beat you in either Game of Games or Icebreakers, I feel like that's a victory because you are a formidable opponent.
I appreciate
Mason doesn't care. Mason, I'm convinced, is stoned half the time.
Well, Mason might text you during the middle of it and guess if he might be listening.
I've been in an Icebreaker slump, though, right now. Like, I have not won in a while.
I keep winning, but, have you noticed that I'm going deeper into the count?
You did that on purpose?
No. I'm not getting them in the first 3 or 4 clues like I normally do. I'll take the points, but I'm playing with my food a little bit. I'm about to run. Like, what negative am I?
So you're at negative 16. The others are at 19. Mason's at 15.
And I think this week there's no doubles.
Yeah, no, doubles do not start this week.
Doubles start next Tuesday.
Yes.
25th through the 31st. So I got some ground to make up, and we'll do it when Icebreakers joins the show next. Mason and Ireland, Andy in from ESPN LA.
USC football.
Fight on.
Miller at the 5. Miller in the end zone. Touchdown USC.
The Trojans kick off the season Saturday, August 29th against San Jose State.
Right into a sack. Boom. Down he goes. Dives inside of the end zone. Touchdown USC. Jake Mayava's done it with his feet again.
Kickoff is at noon.
On your home for Trojan football.
USC football is back this fall on ESPN LA. LA's mega sports station. Fight on.
Being a sports fan in Los Angeles can be unpredictable. Your ice cream shouldn't be. For over 80 years, Thrifty has delivered the exact same legendary experience, right down to our signature cylindrical scoop. It's the brand this city was raised on, and the easiest call you'll make on game day. Skip the debate. Just grab the carton everyone already agrees on. Thrifty Ice Cream, a California classic. Available at most major retailers.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
When you're planning your next job, options matter. Now in stock at Lowe's, get the roofing brands you trust, including GAF, Owens Corning, and CertainTeed, with more colors to choose from. Shingles and accessories are in stock and ready to go. And when you're on the clock, we help keep you on schedule. Order by 4 p.m. and get next day job site delivery on select items as early as 6:30 a.m. At Lowe's, we have your back on the job. Delivery Monday through Saturday in select zip codes, subject to availability.
Oh, it's Icebreakers time. Oh, right. That's right. The big voice guy.
Listen to Mason and Ireland. Weekdays noon to 3 on ESPN LA.
Exactly right. Time for Icebreakers on Mason and Ireland. Icebreakers made possible by Blue Ice Vodka. Your fit-friendly vodka. With no sugar added, 64 calories an ounce, and keto-friendly. Let's do it. Icebreakers. Presented by Blue Ice Vodka on Mason and Ireland. Take it away, producer Emily.
All right, I just gave the update to the score. Here, let's just start with it. For 10 points, I was born in 1983 in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
For 9 points, I am an avid chess player, and I am on the board of First Move Chess.
Okay.
for 8 points. As a teenager, I was a ball boy for the Minnesota Vikings.
Ireland.
Go ahead.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yes!
I was just about. Oh, my God.
Boom!
Oh, my God.
8 points for Ireland.
Needed that. I'm in single digits, Tim.
Yes, you are.
I swear, I was just about to weigh in with Larry Fitzgerald. His father
was a sports writer.
Yeah,
Well, that would have been the next hint.
Oh,
he writes he wrote for Minneapolis.
Well done, John.
Victory. Icebreakers is sponsored by Blue Ice Vodka, made from Idaho potatoes and pristine Teton water for a smoother, creamier, cleaner cocktail with no sugar and just 64 calories an ounce. Look for Blue Ice wherever you shop for spirits. Blue Ice Vodka, pure as the Tetons.
Hey, Ruben Flores in the chat says, AK mad, LOL. Yeah,
Okay,
AK
also,
is mad.
guys, don't be in the chat during Icebreakers because they will give the hint.
No, this is after.
Okay.
I had it down.
I don't have
Clearly,
it,
I wasn't cheating.
I don't have it
lost.
open, but I doubt anyone got that as quick as I did. But maybe they did. I don't know. Okay, so I want to get to this before we get to sports graffiti. Right now, there is a pretty tight race. If you go on DraftKings, they're basically even. Pete Crow-Armstrong is a slight favorite over Shohei Ohtani in the National League. Now, these guys are like in a horse race. Last night, they both homered again. I think they each have 31 home runs. ESPN did a player poll with 21 players asking who they would pick. 21 National League players. 15 PCA, 4 for Ohtani, 2 couldn't decide. So PCA is clearly gaining momentum. But here's my question, Andy. Offensively, batting, their stats are almost identical.
Yep.
It's a wash. I mean, you can nitpick a little bit. The thing that PCA that I think puts him over the top for now is he might be the best defensive player in baseball. He is an elite defensive outfielder. He also never gets hurt. He plays every game. He's the engine that drives the Cubs. But here's my question. Shohei pitched off a mound yesterday and is talking about coming back to pitch. If he comes back and pitches in September and let's say does 4 starts and goes 4-0 and has an ERA under 2, would you vote for Pete Crow-Armstrong or Shohei Ohtani as the National League MVP?
Is Pete Armstrong continuing to play at this level in the field and at the plate?
Yes.
I'd vote for PCA.
Even though Shohei would be doing something that we haven't seen since Babe Ruth.
I mean, but he also didn't do it for a few months, and the fact that he is doing something we haven't seen since Babe Ruth doesn't change the fact that center field is arguably the most important position defensively out there. He's an elite player doing it every day.
Emily, who would get your vote under my scenario where let's say Shohei comes back and pitches end of this month and he kills it in 4 starts in September, wins them all, ERA under 2. Does that swing it back to Ohtani, or are you like Andy? Would you still vote for PCA?
Before I say my answer, when I'm talking about MVP, value and valuable really sticks out to me. That if this person isn't on your team, is your team still successful? I think PCA clears that by a mile because Ohtani, if he doesn't bat, if he's not pitching, the Dodgers are still the same Dodgers. So I would give it to PCA because of his amazing year he's had, that he is so valuable to the Cubs.
That it sounds to me like you're punishing Ohtani for things out of his control.
I'm not punishing him for things out of his control, but I've always said this too about MVPs. If you have to win multiple MVPs, you have to be better than your previous self. I know Ohtani had a great start to his season with his pitching, but then he didn't pitch for 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I think you have to outdo your previous self in order to win back-to-back-to-back MVPs. I don't think Ohtani has outdone himself this year. So that and value are both why I vote for PCA.
Brian, you got an MVP vote. If, using my scenario, Ohtani comes back and pitches and he tears it up next month, does it swing it back to him, or would you vote for PCA?
I think easily it'll swing it back to Ohtani. I think he, hands down, I think this is a little bit of, in the NBA a while back, people talked about the LeBron fatigue.
Right.
Don't want to give him MVP every year, even though
That's
he
a good
is.
point.
I think this is starting to get to this a little bit. And, I mean, he's pitched enough to where I feel like if it ended now, I would still give it to
But
Ohtani.
sometimes you see seasons like Cal Raleigh last year, which it came down to the line between Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. You look at the numbers, and they gave it to Aaron Judge. But it was a very, very close MVP race. And then you see this year that Cal Raleigh had a complete nosedive and will never get another chance to be an MVP. And I'm not saying that just because you can't do it again makes you more worthy. I'm just saying recognizing a fantastic season in and itself, that somebody is doing something you didn't anticipate them doing, I think that's valuable to vote for MVP as well.
The batting statistics are remarkably similar,
Yeah.
Andy. Listen to this. OPS, Ohtani 949, PCA 935. Basically the same. OPS, Ohtani 160, PCA 156. Basically the same. Hitting and fielding WAR, PCA 8.4, Shohei 4.1 because he doesn't play in the field, but because he pitches, he gets 3.0 for pitching. So Ohtani's total WAR is 7.1. PCA's total WAR is 8.4. WAR is wins above replacement, which many baseball experts feel is the best measure of how important you are to your team. That goes to Emily's point that if you took PCA off of the Cubs, it would be a bigger blow than if you took Ohtani off of the Dodgers. But I'm not sure that should matter. What do you think?
Well, here's part of the problem I think Ohtani has right now, too. And so it's clear this is not his fault, but I think it will I think it weighs into some of the momentum that PCA is gaining. The Dodgers are not doing well right now. Like, so the idea
and
of...
he's doing well hitting.
Right. Ohtani's been... I'm not saying it's Ohtani's fault. Like,
No, but I'm saying if he's doing well hitting and they aren't winning, how does he add to the winning?
Well, to me, the value is the value. Like, we know how valuable of a player you are, and baseball is not really a sport where one guy can carry a team anyway. Like, it's just not designed that way. Like, it's an individual sport masquerading as a team sport. I just feel like you have to break these ties because there's only one guy who can win. And I think you can make an argument anyway. It may not be the right argument, but I think you can make an argument that playing every day at a premier defensive position is as valuable as being an elite starting pitcher. Again, whether you agree or disagree, I think it is a sound argument. PCA has been doing that half of it for, it's going to be like 2 months that Ohtani didn't.
Right. But to Brian's point, you could make an argument that Shohei Ohtani should get it every year just because he does both things. He's doing something no one else in baseball is doing.
But you're not awarded...
And by the way, Andy, his ERA this year in the 82 innings he's pitched, 1.79. I mean, that's how good he is.
No, I'm not. Look, I am not disputing Shohei Ohtani's greatness. Again, if you're asking me, do I think he's the best player in the league, my answer would be yes. But you grade all of these things on a case-by-case, season-by-season basis. And the fact that he is in his own right a novelty act, you can't use that to penalize everybody else. Like the fact that
PCA does two things. He's a center fielder and he's a batter.
Yeah, like the fact that PCA is conventionally elite should not be used against him.
Okay, let's get to something important before we get to sports graffiti. Andy, my favorite whiskey is Maker's Mark.
I saw where you're going with this.
All right. When my standard drink, if you and I go out drinking, somebody say I would say I want a whiskey sour in a rocks glass with ice. Okay. Sometimes if I don't like the look of the bar or if I don't think the bartender knows what he's doing, I'll just order Maker's Mark over ice. My dad used to yell at me and say, "You need to drink it neat. You're watering down the whiskey."
I agree with your father.
And my dad would say, "And you're not drinking Irish whiskey, which is an affront to all Irish people."
I disagree with your father.
Maker's Mark has come out with a bottle this year that they've been keeping in their barrels in their factory in Kentucky for the last 11 years, and they think they have nailed it. They think that this particular batch of whiskey is the best they've ever made. It costs $175 a bottle. Do I bite the bullet and buy one bottle or skip it and just drink the normal Maker's Mark, which is good, solid, fine.
Okay, at the risk of putting your business out in the streets,
yeah, I don't care.
Can you buy this $175 without it affecting you?
Yeah, just go to Mark Cates and tell him to get me another read.
Okay, so you've got a way to be made whole after this.
Brian, you've been out drinking with me. You know how much I like whiskey. Do I bite the bullet and spend $175 on one bottle, or just stick with what got me here?
I think you bite the bullet. I think you try it. If it's your favorite kind and they say this is the best they've ever done, I think you got to at least
This is what I would
try
say. I don't drink bourbon the way I used to. I'm more of a tequila person now. But back when I did drink bourbon, I tried a few of the elevated or rare.
I don't always drink bourbon, but when I do, yeah.
I tried a few of the elevated or special edition or whatever. Generally speaking, I could taste the difference. I could absolutely taste the difference.
Emily, what's your opinion?
Before I give my answer, I think my favorite thing about ordering whiskey sour is you never know what you're going to get. The bartender could give it to you in a million different ways.
Right. They could serve it up in a martini glass with no ice. And by the way, if you're going to I see where you're going. If I'm going to water it down with something else, then I don't need the $175
no, that's not what I was
bottle.
saying. Buy the $175 bottle because you will love it. I say treat yourself, John Ireland. You deserve it.
Okay. Well, I'll report back to you on that particular issue. Now, coming up next is sports graffiti. There are a couple. I'm as a public service to the YouTube chat. I've now, as you know, I used to hate the YouTube chat, but now they've won me over because some of them have some really good takes. There's a couple of people in the YouTube chat that want to get into sports graffiti, and they say you screen them out. So be less lenient. Or be more lenient.
I will say what I expect from people when they call in.
Yeah.
Name, where you're calling from, and just what topic you're doing.
Right.
I'm not screening you out.
So if you can answer those three questions, and by the way, if you can't answer the first two, we don't want you on anyway. But name where you're calling from, and then come up with something that at least Emily's not going to roll her eyes and hang up on you.
And take 5 seconds. Don't do a diatribe. 5 seconds.
And by the way, good news. 3-word text. I got you. From
Mark Cates.
Mark Cates.
Nice.
The whiskey may be coming my way. All right, sports graffiti next. 877-710-3776. 877-710-ESPN. Andy information. Your calls next. ESPN LA.
Coming up Thursday on the Sedano and Cab Morning Show, well, we have the day off, sort of. It's a best of edition of the Sedano and Cab Morning Show. Fun and frivolity. Maybe we'll sneak in some of the highlights from the Summer of Schwans.
The Summer of Schwans.
And highlights from this past Tuesday's show, because it was that good. Don't miss the best of edition of the Sedano and Cab Morning Show, Thursday morning at 7 a.m. on LA's mega sports station, 7:10 a.m. and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year. Ha-ha!
When it comes to hiring, other job sites are still huddling, while ZipRecruiter's already in the end zone. What's the advantage? With ZipRecruiter, when you need to hire someone fast, you get them fast, but you also get the best person for your job. It's a win-win. Plus, ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Recruiting a team or looking for fresh talent, ZipRecruiter covers the field with their powerful technology and immediately starts showing your job to the right candidates. That's why over 4 million businesses have used ZipRecruiter to hire, and why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster, smarter, and more efficient from post to hire before the competition can even line up. Get in the end zone with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
You know, we talk a lot about winning culture in sports, but Mike, you've built that same thing here at Rotolo Chevrolet.
That's exactly right, Travis. For me, it's simple. Take care of your people and they'll take care of the customer.
And it shows. I mean, award-winning dealership, huge reputation across SoCal, and that doesn't happen by accident.
I'm a big believer in no shortcuts. We believe in doing the right thing every time. When your team feels trusted, they step up.
Sounds like a championship mindset to me.
That's the goal. Build a team that wins for our customers every single day.
one of LA's best kept secrets in the heart of Los Angeles. East Central Hotel offers effortless accommodations and unparalleled accessibility. The East Central Hotel is for everyone looking for entertainment with their trendy, spacious rooms, a renovated gym, and a patio lounge for breakfast, dinner, and drinks. Stop by their incredible Nixo Lounge before your next event at LA Live. Book your stay at eastcentralhotel.com or call 213-748-1291 today at Entertainment's official address.
The home of Rams football, and now the home of The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. to noon, KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
And yes, it's sports graffiti time. 1 o'clock in the Southland on the biggest show on the radio, Mason in Ireland. And of course, on Sports Graffiti, we take your calls. And if you're calling into 877-710-ESPN and you're calling into LA's mega sports station, ESPN LA, you're calling in on the Hard Rock Hotline. The Hard Rock Hotline, made possible by Hard Rock Casino Tajon. Bringing you Sports Graffiti today.
Experience gaming, dining, and live entertainment at the easiest drive from downtown LA. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You get to talk to Mason in Ireland during Sports Graffiti, and we know everybody loves Mason in Ireland. Let's do it. Sports Graffiti time. Take it away, Mace.
Okay, no Mace today. Andy Kamenetzky sitting in for him, but every line is jammed. So let's get to it. We'll see how many of these we can get in. Here's Martin in Orange. Hey, Martin, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, first, guys, I'd just like to say, Andy, as always, it's great to have you on the air. You make this show and 7:10 a.m. so much smarter. Thank you for gracing us with your voice. And, Johnny, you know you're always the best, man.
Thank you,
on the Shohei Ohtani.
Caller. Yeah, go ahead on Ohtani.
I agree. Sometimes the best player in the league isn't always the MVP. Of course, Ohtani is the best player in the league, but is he the MVP? I'd have to agree with M. Take him off the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are still slapping everybody silly. When he was a basement dweller out here in Anaheim, he was winning those MVPs because they knew without Ohtani, basically the Angels were a minor league team.
So it sounds like, Martin,
the best player doesn't get the MVP. Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah, sure. It sounds like, Andy, and it's a different way of making the point Emily made, that he knows it's not Ohtani's fault that PCA means more to his team than Ohtani means to his. Ohtani can't control that, but it is a factor.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the old Herm Edwards line. It's not your fault, but it's your problem.
I don't even think it really comes down to who means more to which team. I actually just think it's who is doing more this season. And I think PCA over the course of this season is doing more than Ohtani, even though I think Ohtani year in, year out is a better player.
Here is Walrus in Encino. Hey, Walrus. You're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, John, I was calling to apologize to you. I think any person who's worth their salt should apologize when they were wrong. And you were not being dismissive of Lakers fans such as myself last week when the team was sold in terms of what people were thinking about it. So I wanted to apologize to you.
Sure.
And second of all, I thought, you've handled it very well. I know you're in a tricky spot being the voice of the Lakers. But the last thing I'm going to say is, and I want to shout out a guy by the name of Anthony Irwin, who AK had on Lakers Talk back during the summer. Mm-hmm. He mentioned something that I've heard a lot of people saying now, that the Buss children would have not made the sale if they knew that the team was going to get sold a year later to a relative unknown. I know Bob Iger, Josh Kushner, they've been involved in the NBA. That's great. But Mark Walter has had an established track record as a sports owner. And, yeah, the House of Cards has fell. Last thing I'll say, and Em will appreciate this, throughout history, when the great leaders go, things fall apart. Alexander the Great's empire fell apart when he died. Charlemagne in medieval Europe fell apart. So this is honestly something that, it's a historical trend. It's not just a new thing. You all have a great day.
Thank you, Walrus, for the phone call. Here's Jerry in Newport Beach. Jerry, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go for it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I got a two-part question regarding the Walter situation, kind of a question and a comment, if I can. Question is, would either one of you know, as far as the remaining partners and shareholders in the Guggenheim Group, be liable at all for any of this is particularly maybe Dodgers deferred money. And then the second question and comment is, if the Walter situation ends up as possibly speculated, which would be the worst, can MLB end up suing Walters for that deferred money that's not there when it's owed to these players down the road?
That's a good question, and thank you very much for your call, Jerry. Andy, my understanding is that if the Dodgers were sold, all the deferred money would be included in the sale. So, for example, if you're Mark Walter and you're the point man at Guggenheim, and I'm John the billionaire, and I come in and buy the Dodgers, I'm on the hook for the $700 million to Shohei Ohtani. Is that your understanding?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Okay, so I don't think that there is a lawsuit there. I don't think that you can, because the Players Association would go ballistic. And the Baseball Players Association is the strongest union in sports.
I mean, I don't know what the lawsuit would be other than, is the caller suggesting that, like, Ohtani's contracts would be voided?
Right,
or
I think he is. But I don't think that'll happen.
No.
Here is Brad in El Segundo. Hey, Brad, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead.
Hola, boys.
Hi, Brad.
Johnny, I was at a Makers event about 6 weeks ago, and I made nice with the guy from the distillery in Kentucky.
Okay.
And I'm a bourbon guy. We started shooting in the breeze, and he went behind the desk and brought that bottle out.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger, my man. It's ridiculously good.
Okay. I'm so glad you called, Brad. That definitely is going to influence my decision. I will do you. So it might be worth $175 a bottle.
And it's unbelievable.
Well,
unbelievable.
Michael
bourbon.
spends that on wine all the time. So it's not that out of character if I go and do it one time. Brad, is that the only reason you called? You got something else? I think that must have been the only reason you called. Here's Jake in Newport Beach. Hey, Jake, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Ireland, I like to make a prediction about the future.
Okay.
Come late October or early November, you and Mace, or rather you, Kamenetzky, Sue, or Momer, because let's face it, Mace will probably be on vacation.
Yes.
You and a fill-in co-host will be sitting in the studio doing a blame pie on why the Dodgers didn't win the World Series, and the pie will be divided between Edwin Diaz, Kyle Tucker, Dave Roberts, and Andrew Friedman. I don't know the percentages yet, but I agree with you.
Plus
1% for
Frank McCourt.
Yeah, we need 1% for Frank McCourt, Jake. And I can't imagine, Andy, that and Jake, that if the Dodgers don't win it this year, because I know how the public works, people are going to tie Mark Walter to that situation and say the distraction of hanging over ownership played a role. It doesn't, but they're going to say that.
Here's something to remember, too, like with the blame pie that was just broken down by Jake with
Blame pie, John Ireland, TM.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. With big chunks of the pie, big slices for Edwin Diaz and Kyle Tucker, it is a reminder that just because you splash your money around, it doesn't always lead to good results.
When we had Andrew Friedman on, he told us that. We said, man, how do you seem to nail this all the time with these free agents and these guys you go out and sign. How do you know whether or not to pull the trigger on these guys? And he said, I don't. He goes, you just take the information available to you. And he said, I know you guys like to talk about my successes, but there have been a lot of failures. And, he traded Yordan Alvarez for a role player that is like Josh Fields. Remember that name?
Yeah.
Yordan Alvarez is going to be a unanimous MVP in the American League this year.
Well, I mean, look, the last couple of
so
seasons.
To Andrew's credit, he even admits that.
I mean, look, the last couple of seasons, the really big money acquisitions have been pretty spotty for the Dodgers. Like, they've been kind of all over the place, and you can argue it has, on balance, not been money well spent.
Here is Josh in Orange County. Hey, Josh, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go for it.
Hey, guys, I made it. I finally made it. Hey, I got 3 quick shout-outs. Shout-out to the YouTube chat. I made it, guys. And then shout-out to Kyle Tucker. Hey, good for him.
Got a double last night.
I just forgot his – yeah. And then shout-out to I just forgot his name. I'm sorry. The producer that just came back from his honeymoon.
Brian.
BC. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick, John, I had a question. So Adam McKay directed Winning over the Lakers.
Time. Right.
Yeah. What are the chances that he could collab with Ramona to possibly do a Netflix series with what's going on with the Buss family?
The problem would be, and the problem why Winning Time didn't I liked Winning Time. I thought they did a good job at that show. The problem was that Jeanie was producing her own, and with a good director, the guy who did Training
Antoine
Day.
Fuqua.
Yeah, he produced the Hulu Laker miniseries.
Yeah.
Also did Michael.
And he had the cooperation of all of the Laker greats. He had Magic Johnson, he had Jeanie, he had Kareem, he had all the people that and Adam McKay didn't have the cooperation of the Lakers until he did a smart thing. He put Jay Moore, our buddy Jay, into the show as Kareem's agent, and then I think Jeanie softened her stance a little bit because that's her husband. But I don't know if Adam would go back to the well. And it was also the end of his friendship with Will Ferrell because Will Ferrell wanted to play Dr. Buss, and he gave it to John C. Reilly. And the way it turned out, John C. Reilly was perfect.
I like Will Ferrell a lot. He would have been miscast in that role.
I will say Josh's idea is very interesting because if Jeanie Buss is no longer an owner of the Lakers, that is no longer necessarily an issue with getting the rights, potentially. They'd have to work with Bob Iger, so maybe this is a FX show instead of a Netflix show.
Which is what Momo's show was, clipped.
Yeah, so I think that it would be a very interesting idea. I think Adam McKay would probably be interested because he still likes the Lakers. And I've been seeing Winning Time pop up a lot on my timeline these days because people are like, how do they cancel this show? And I still can't believe it. I know the viewership was down. It wasn't a great time. That is the best basketball show I've ever seen.
I loved it,
Some of the best
I'm a
basketball
Laker
I've ever
fan,
seen.
so I've liked all these shows. I like the Hulu doc. I like Running Point. I liked Winning Time. I think I'm guilty just because I grew up around the Lakers and now I work for them. I watched them all and I liked them all.
Yeah,
the actors in Winning Time were incredible.
Well,
you had
they
Adrian Brody playing Pat Riley.
Well, and they completely nailed Magic and Kareem.
Quincy
nailed.
Quincy Isaiah played Magic. Solomon Hughes played Kareem. They were both excellent.
Right. And so I enjoyed it. I know there were I'm friends with Gary Vitti and I'm friends with John Black, who were actually extras in the show early, and they both walked off the set because they were so disgusted at the way Jerry West was being portrayed. And they did miss Jerry on this one count. Jerry was foul-mouthed, but he was not angry. He wasn't. He didn't yell and scream. He never threw a trophy through a window. He wasn't thinking. He stewed internally.
Well, here's show. You have to externalize it.
Well, I mean, look, I understand from Jerry West's perspective. Like, it's like, I'm not a character. I'm a real person. So, like, the idea of you taking personal license for entertainment value, it's like, this is actually me. The thing about it, though, and I think you guys would agree because you watched all of this, the way they presented Jerry West in the pilot was not the way Jerry West was presented for the rest of the series. Like, they toned down a lot of it. I think they were just trying with the pilot to get everybody's attention right away and be as outrageous and over the top as possible. Like, it's part of the reason I thought season 2 was actually better than season 1. I thought it was more grounded.
What I loved about that show, too, Em, was it took you to the 70s. It was that's what L.A. was like in the 70s.
And the basketball looked good. Like, the way in which they filmed the scenes, they did it in a way which I know not everybody was a professional basketball player or college basketball player, but it didn't take me out of it, how the guys played basketball.
Right. Every line jam. Well, no, one line open, so we'll keep this rolling. We'll keep Sports Graffiti rolling. 877-710-3776. 877-710 ESPN. More your calls next. Mason and Ireland, Andy in for Mace, ESPN LA.
You never know what you're going to get when you wake up with Sedano and Cap.
I mean, they used to think you looked like Chris Taylor, Bergie. No way. This is much closer.
Oh, yeah. No, this is much closer than me and Chris Taylor.
Well, hold on a second. George, who do people think you look like? People say I look like Rick Moranis when I put my glasses on. Yes. You do look. Hey, hoser.
It's the morning show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
Hey, it's Mace. Count the ER visit. Count the missed work. Count the follow-up scare. Count the rehab. Now count on Jacob. 800-345-6789.
Call Jacob.
Guys, Pizza Hut takes me back old school. Birthday parties, Little League, Friday nights, there was always something special about the Hut. Now, celebrate again with Pizza Hut's new throwback value menu. Iconic favorites like a personal pan pizza, breadsticks, and a 2-liter soda starting at just $4. Feed the family with the original stuffed crust pizza, $11.99 for a 1-topping medium. Try new additions like triple cheese, mac and gooey s'mores sticks. Go to pizzahut.com or order now on the Pizza Hut app.
Summer is sizzling and the August deals are at Northridge or Wonders Toyota. It's Bethel Durant, and I love my Camry Hybrid. And right now, you can lease a 2026 Camry SE Hybrid CVT for $359 a month or 36 months plus tax. $359 for a new Camry Hybrid? Come on now. It's got to be Northridge and Wonders Toyota.
Lease based on 2026 Camry model 2561 with total SRP of $33,808. Lease and purchase amount of $21,964. $29.99 due at signing. Includes first month payment and $750 acquisition fee. Security deposit may be required on approved credit. Tax, title, license are extra. Excludes dealer doc fee of $80. Offer ends 8/31/2026.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087. 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087 or simply visit TRA.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Mason and Ireland on LA's mega sports station.
Oh my, am I really on Mason and Ireland show?
Yes.
This is a great moment. Hey.
Right now, more of Mason and Ireland on 710.
All right, today it's Andy Kamenetzky in Ireland, and we've got some bonus sports graffiti, and here we go. Winston in West Covina, you're on Sports Graffiti. Winston, what do you got?
Hey, guys. So after 43 years, Lawrence Cantor, the voice of the Lakers, has stepped aside and is now a special advisor. I was just wondering if you guys have heard anything about who his possible new replacement's going to be, and also personally any recommendations on any great voices out there that could fill in and take over his spot. So hats off to Lawrence Cantor.
Yeah, Lawrence is the best. He'll still be around. I don't think they've hired anybody. They may have. I know the guy making that hire, and I talked to him about maybe a month and a half ago. And he was scouring the country, listening to tapes, doing different stuff. But take this as somebody who has the job of the Lakers play-by-play guy, and I'm the fifth guy to follow Chick Hearn. There is no following Lawrence Tanner. You're following Sinatra. So whoever gets that gig is going to have to put their own imprint on him. But that's a tough gig. Like I always said, Andy, that Paul Sunderland, who was the first guy after Chick, is a really good announcer.
He's excellent.
I know Paul, I became friends with him when he did sing. He's a great guy. He was in a weird spot because he couldn't say no when they offered him the job. I mean, it's the voice of the Lakers. You can't say no to that. But the fact that he had to follow Chick made it almost impossible for him to succeed. So much so, Andy, that Paul went right after Chick. Then Joel Myers went. Then Spiro came in. And then there was me. And people think I followed Chick. That's how big Chick's shadow was.
Yeah, it's going to be super difficult for anybody that follows LT. And, I mean, look, to put this in perspective, just what type of broadcasting legends and presence have been in L.A., in any other city, Stu Lance is the gold standard.
Right.
He's been doing this for multiple decades for the biggest team in the city, one of the most iconic franchises in sports. And with all sincere respect and admiration for Stu, who I'm a massive fan of, if you do an L.A. Mount Rushmore of broadcasters, I don't think he makes it.
Well,
and he's outstanding.
Chick, Vin, and Bob Miller are all locks.
Yes.
Which only leaves you one spot.
Right. I think it would be very...
Probably Dick Enberg.
Yeah.
Because he did the Angels for all those
You get into Pete Arbogast. I mean, there's
Yeah.
been so many great broadcasters. Again, Stu is outstanding.
Yeah, and the greatest. By the way, I'll take it a step further than you did. I think one day both Stu Lance and Lawrence Tanner are going to be in the Naismith Hall of Fame, and I hope they put him in before they pass away.
Yes,
because they missed that with Chick, and they obviously missed it with Kobe. So hopefully they'll. I think it's only a matter of time before those two guys get in. Do it sooner rather than later.
This is why I know when we've talked about with the Lakers and who's the next statue, it needs to be Phil Jackson for the exact same reasons. You want to make sure Phil is there to enjoy it.
I think one guy needs to go before him.
Who?
Dr. Buss.
Well, the urgency isn't the same way with Dr. Buss as
now
it is
that he's passed. Yeah.
Right, with Phil. Like, you want to make sure Phil can enjoy it.
Yep. Here is Ken in Newport Beach. Ken, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. So my understanding is that Ohtani's contract calls for Walters and Friedman to be there. If for one reason or another Walters is forced to leave, do you think Ohtani will then leave along with that breach of contract?
It's a good question, and I think you're right to bring it up. Because, Andy, it would invoke a clause in the contract that gives Shohei an out. If Andrew Friedman or Mark Walter leave the Dodgers, Shohei can activate a clause to opt out of his contract. I have been told by people close to him that he would not do that. But it's all hearsay, Andy. And Shohei doesn't do a lot of media. I don't think I've ever heard him ask that question in front of a microphone. So the answer is, Ken, we don't know. But you're right to bring it up. It would activate that clause if Mark Walter sold the Dodgers.
This is what I would say. Ohtani likely doesn't know the answer yet because he doesn't know what the ultimate outcome is.
Right.
And he doesn't know if Mark Walter sells, who's taking over and how all this stuff works. So I doubt Ohtani would even know what the answer would be right now.
Let's go next to Scott in Ventura. Hey, Scott, you're on Sports Graffiti.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Hey, John, I'm just curious, do you have a relationship with Ed O'Bannon? And if so, it'd be great to get him on and get his thoughts of where NIL has gone.
Yeah, because he's really, for people who don't know, the reason Scott is connecting those dots is that when Ed O'Bannon took the NCAA to court for name, image, and likeness, his victory in court opened the floodgates for NIL. Yeah, I don't know him well, Scott. I covered him when he was at UCLA, and I think we can get to him. I think he's living out in Las Vegas. Last I heard, he owned a car dealership, and he was in that business. But, yeah, he'd be great to talk to. Andy, Ed O'Bannon is one of two people, and this is me being guilty of my UCLA blue and gold glasses. When Ed O'Bannon was drafted, I think he was drafted 11th or 12th by the Mavericks. And I came on the air that day, and I said, the Mavericks just stole him. I go, this guy's going to be a huge NBA star. I go, I can't believe he lasted this long in the draft.
9th overall by the then New Jersey Nets.
Okay, so yeah, it was Brooklyn that took him. And then I said the same thing about Cade McNown, who I think was like the 12th pick and by the Bears, and he burned out. So I wanted both those guys to succeed so bad. I went on the air and said, these guys are going to be great pros. Neither one of them popped.
Ed O'Bannon actually only played 2 years in the NBA.
I think Cade only played 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. They both kind of burned out. Here is Steve in L.A. Hey, Steve, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Listen, who's going to, now that Rob Pelinka has got
Lucas and big men, who's going to be developing them and working with them? I think, a lot of guys go work with Hakeem Olajuwon and, get tutored by him. And I think Kareem tried to work with Andrew Bynum. Who's going to be working with the Lakers big men?
The Lakers don't have, per se, a big man coach that works specifically with big men. They've had that in the past. There was a guy named Skylar Rimmer who is still in the league, and I think he might be in Portland now. And he was a big man coach. But Nate McMillan runs the defense. Scott Brooks runs the offense. JJ runs both of them. And on top of that, there isn't, Andy, a 7-footer on the coaching staff.
No.
Like other teams have done. So I don't think there is, per se, someone that's going to be developing big men.
No, not that I'm aware of.
And Kareem's always available, although he's in ailing health. So I don't know how active he would be willing to be.
Yeah, I think it would probably be very difficult at this stage of his life for Kareem to be on-court coaching, although if he's willing to offer Walker Kessler any type of advice, Kessler should listen.
Well, I've always been one of the great mysteries of my sportscasting career. Right up there with what I mentioned yesterday, while nobody will shoot their free throws underhanded, because Rick Barry shot 90% shooting granny style, is nobody else has ever copied the sky hook. And I went to Kareem and I said, why do you think that is? He said, they don't think it looks cool. Boy, I do. I think the sky hook looks cool.
I actually wonder if it's not about the aesthetics of it. It's you don't want to be the guy that tries to do the sky hook and you're miserable at it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a really loud thing.
If it would help me score, I would put it into my repertoire immediately. Here's Mike in Irvine. Hey, Mike, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, guys. 2 quick Dodger hits. If Ohtani gets a couple starts in August, September, and does decently well, I think he should be the MVP. But I'm more concerned about what's going on with Teoscar Hernandez. I don't know if you saw the Robleski start the other night, but he butchered 3 plays, the 2 singles right in front of him, and the first home run he missed by a lot. And I know Teoscar's really popular, so he's not getting the same blowback as Tucker is, but do you think he might be a replacement issue for the playoffs?
Yeah, Mike, he could be. And let me just put it to you. I want Kike in the lineup for the postseason because he's one of those rare people. Andy, he's like Rajon Rondo. Mm-hmm. His stats get better in the postseason. So if I left it up to you, Mike, and I said I'm going to put either Kyle Tucker or Teoscar Hernandez on the bench to make room for Kike, which one would you bench?
Teoscar, because I'm still hopeful that Tucker can pull something out of the hat for September. And Hernandez just looks slow and unable to make the big plays right now.
All right. That's it's not a ridiculous.
He looked like that last year, too, though, and then he showed up in the postseason when we needed him to.
He's never been a great fielder. Like, that's never been how Teo's made his money.
And Teo had some big hits over the past couple of years. So we'll. I mean, Dave has normally pushed all the right buttons. Let's see if he can do it again this year. All right, coming up next, Andy, I used to beat on the table every time there was a coach or a manager opening in Los Angeles, and I would say, Los Angeles isn't a starter town. No. We need somebody with experience. You can't put someone who has never been a manager or a coach in Los Angeles.
It's got to fit the suit, you always say.
Right. Sean McVay, J.J. Redick, Dave Roberts, all blowing my point out of the water. And we'll get into that next because I think I've found the next great baseball manager, and I'm going to run it by you and see what you think. That's coming up. First, let me tell you about Life Source Whole House Water. Chris Morales and I switched to a Life Source Whole House Water system, and that's why you hear us talking about doing a happy dance when we get out of the shower and sucking on the tap. Life Source cleans and conditions the water from every tap in your house. So you're drinking, cooking, showering, and washing with healthier water every single day. Best of all, no salt, no regular maintenance, no worrying about harsh city water drying out your skin. Life Source fixes all of that. Check out their reviews, see what other home owners are saying. Upgrade your water and your life. Call the Life Source Water System California factory at 800-WATER-99. Water 99, or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource Water, taste and feel the difference. Warranty limitations apply.
High altitude, short rest, and a Western Conference battle awaits for the black and gold.
Hey, what a goal! Son of
LAFC hits the road looking for a bounce-back win as they invade Colorado.
LAFC!
Pre-game of LAFC versus Colorado Rapids starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. on the home of the black and gold, 710 ESPN and ESPN LA app.
There you were, surrounded by fans, sharing wings, sharing drinks, high-fiving random strangers. Everybody remembers the game, but nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you until a few days later. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you got a fever, your throat's on fire. So now what? Urgent care closed, ER slammed, telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You need a medical emergency kit. These are not first aid kits, everybody. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions, sinus and ear infections, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more. You can even use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care in a drugstore in your house. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes, and it's shipped to your door. Save $45 with our promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710. That's promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
Hey, it's Wendy here. Are you looking to rebound from your high-interest credit card debt? A SoFi personal loan could help. Consolidate your debt with a SoFi personal loan into one low monthly payment, and you could save money on interest over time. And with as soon as the same day funding, you could hit the ground running ASAP. Apply today with no fees required at SoFi.com/debt rebound. Loans originated by SoFi Bank. NA member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debt rebound.
Mason and Ireland.
You know what they say? Nobody loses like
sneaky
Steve
bastard.
Mason.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it pays to be a loser, people.
On LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
If you're a loser, it pays.
Back to the guys.
All right, it's Andy Kamenetzky in for Mace today, Mason and Ireland. And Andy, every once in a while you hear an interview, you hear somebody talking, and you'll go, that guy's going to be a head coach or a manager one day. And I used to argue that in big markets like LA and New York, you can't have guys who don't have any experience. You can't be a starter job. But I've been proven wrong at every turn. Sean McVay, first job with the Rams. Dave Roberts, first manager job with the Dodgers. J.J. Redick, first head coaching job with the Lakers. They've all been really good.
What's funny about that, though, is you've always believed that despite growing up with the evidence otherwise, which was Pat Riley.
Right.
Pat Riley.
Tommy the Sorta.
Yeah. You had seen all of this in front of you, yet you weren't recognizing how it could be possible.
Yeah. I mean, I always wanted Phil Jackson. I want somebody with a proven track record somewhere else to come in and do it. But this is the All the Smoke podcast, the Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson thing.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to former Dodger Chase Utley and tell me he doesn't sound like a guy that is going to be a manager sooner rather than later. Listen to this.
I wanted to figure out a way to, how can I be impactful on a daily basis, even though I'm not necessarily as good of a player as I was 5 or 6 years prior. And I took a lot of pride in that because the Dodgers had some veteran guys, but also some young guys with a lot of talent. So I took a lot of pride in trying to dig in with some of these younger guys and help them maneuver, whether that was, on the field or off the field. And to Andrew's credit, he said, listen, we brought you over here for a reason. Obviously, we still feel like you're a good player, but also I think your leadership skills can be invaluable to us and some of our younger guys. So do whatever you think is necessary, which gave me kind of free rein on chatting with these guys and, trying to help point them in the right direction. And I feel like I did an okay job at it.
Doesn't that sound like a guy that's going to be a manager one day?
I mean, it sounds like somebody who's thought about things that would make you a good manager. But it's the same way Miggy Rojas gets talked about with this team.
Right.
Everybody sees him as a future manager in the making. It doesn't always translate. I mean, I remember when I covered Luke Walton, everyone talked about Luke as one of those very obvious coaches in the making, and he did not pop the way everybody expected. But there are other guys who seem that way, and they do.
In Luke's case, it might have been too much too soon. Like, he was the lead assistant for the Warriors. He stepped in for Steve Kerr. That was a super team. I think he went 24-1 or something before Steve came back, and then that got him the Laker job. The Laker job got political when Magic came in, and then Magic left. And, and then when he got his chance in Sacramento, that's just a bad ownership.
Sure, but and Luke has been an assistant on different staffs, and he has business being on a staff. But it's different doing that than it is being the head guy. But Chase Utley does sound like somebody who's been thinking about this.
I haven't asked you about this yet. Did you get a chance to watch any of the Rams-Chiefs game last Saturday?
A little bit of.
Okay, so Ty Simpson, and the Rams took a lot of heat for drafting him, looked really good. 21 of 25.
And one of those incompletions was just a missed Hail Mary at the end of a half.
Right, and he was 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. All of a sudden, people are asking a question, well, how much stock can we put in that? It's the first preseason game against guys who probably won't be on an NFL roster, but still, 21 of 25, 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. Todd McShay, formerly of ESPN, watched Ty Simpson and had this to say about his performance on Saturday.
There was a calm to him. Wasn't holding the ball too long, but there were certain points in time, I would say maybe six completions he had, where first read wasn't there, maybe second read wasn't there. As a quarterback, it's like the get off the pot moment, right? Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Where it's like the 1001, 1002, which you don't do in your head. When you start the 1000 after 1002, and it's like this mental clock that people always talk about, but literally like you feel it. You know when it's 2.5. Watch at that 2.5 mark in his head, how calm his feet were and how steady his base was. And a lot of times when you study, especially the college quarterbacks and rookies, right? You get the 1001, 1002, and then you start to see the feet get anxious. I didn't see that. That's encouraging to me because it tells me this. What Sean McVay is preaching, what he's putting down, Ty Simpson's picking up.
How excited can Ram fans be, Andy, over a preseason performance by a backup quarterback?
I wouldn't get ahead of yourselves for the reasons that you said. It's preseason. You're going up against at least some non-NFL competition. That being said, though, Ty Simpson was a bet for the future. He doesn't need to be ready right now. Like when my take on it at the time when they made that draft pick and then the trade for Myles Garrett showed exactly what I was thinking about. They clearly felt like we can improve the team now while still using this first-round pick on a guy in Ty Simpson that we believe in. They don't need to be right now about Simpson. They need to be right about the Myles Garrett and other pieces that we brought in will be enough for this year. But it doesn't hurt that Ty Simpson looked good. I mean, it's reassuring to see him go out there looking good, at least in this setting.
I think the most important thing with a quarterback with Sean McVay is being able to understand what Sean McVay is trying to tell them. And so what Todd McShay is saying here is that he's able to seemingly understand what he's being asked of. He's not being asked to do a ton. In preseason, you're doing the bare minimum. You're doing nothing special, nothing flashy. But even in that, if it gets sped up at all, he seems to know and be able to. They praise him as a high IQ guy. I think that for Sean McVay is the most important thing. You need to be able to translate what Sean's telling you, put on the field. That's why him and Matthew have worked so well, and even for a while, why him and Jared work so well. They're both guys that have a high IQ. Matthew just took it to a different level.
And, you mentioned McVay. He, whenever I have trouble, Andy, trying to explain why I like somebody so much or why someone has been successful, a lot of times when I'm looking for the right adjectives or I'm trying to explain it to someone, like if I'm trying to tell you about someone that you've never met and don't know, and I say, you got to understand this, and I end up saying something along the lines of, he just gets it. All right? He's good in the room, always open to learning, doesn't think he knows everything. McVay's a great example of this. Youngest coach in NFL history, gets this job. He's now been at it for 10 years. He's really good at it. But he's never like, I know it has to be my way or the highway. And he talked about that, now that he's working with Ty Simpson. The difference between how Sean McVay treats Matthew Stafford, who is almost like an equal, same football smarts, sees the field the same way.
Similar age, honestly.
Right. And Ty Simpson, who's like if McVay was a high school or college coach. And Sean talked about that, about how he's learned that you have to do a better job of being a teacher with somebody like Ty Simpson. Here's McVay.
I always think this, like, good teachers inspire learning. And it's like when you watch a meeting, if you can't ask everybody, all right, what were the 1 to 2 points or maybe 3 that you took out of that? And like the early parts of those meetings, I mean, I am ripping through information and everybody's like writing down stuff. And you're saying, that's not really the intent. The goal is to authentically have it maybe be a little bit more conversational where there's an ownership. And ultimately, it's not what we say, it's how we live it and how we model the way. But let's make sure that we're calling people up, not out, or rewarding these things that are in alignment with what we want to really be able to look like. And when you have people that'll pour into you and you have the ability to say, let's do an honest after action review, like what we ask of players on each other and be accountable to what we're teaching.
I just think he gets it.
It's more about, it's not just memorization. He wants the players to understand so that when he's saying this 18 billion long play call, that they know if something goes wrong, they know what the play is and how they can move on the fly.
One of the things that jumped out at me, I remember from the moment Sean McVay was hired, that made me feel like, okay, this is a really good start. He brought in Wade Phillips as his defensive coordinator. Wade Phillips is the classic, this is the guy who's going to take your job if you fail guy. Like, that is the prototype guy for that. Anybody territorial about this would never have brought in somebody like Wade Phillips.
Not only that, you ever hear him talk about when one of his assistants is up for a job somewhere else?
Yeah.
He practically kicks him out the door and says, oh, you got to, like, and you look around the league. Both LaFleurs worked for Sean McVay. Kevin O'Connell worked for Sean McVay. Raheem Morris worked for Sean McVay. Liam Cohen worked for Sean McVay. I mean, the Rams are lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him as a coach in this city. And Ty Simpson's lucky to have him, Andy, because it's exactly the type of guy you want in your corner if you're trying to overachieve a little bit. Did he deserve to be the 13th pick? Maybe not. But the Rams are not picking that high again. They wanted to grab a quarterback who they like. They like him. And I think he's got a great head start having McVay in his corner.
Again, they made a bet on the now and the future. And the bet on the now was between Myles Garrett and the defensive backs we're bringing in and the natural improvement of some of the young guys on the defense and a Ferguson and a guy like that. We can be good enough to win a Super Bowl now while still using this first-round pick on a guy that we think will eventually succeed Matthew Stafford. Somebody at some point is going to be succeeding Matthew Stafford.
If you were listening earlier in the week, I talked about how I don't love the fact the Rams are having to start the season in Australia along with the Niners. I think it's a competitive disadvantage for both teams. But I didn't really look at the rest of the schedule. You'll be surprised at who did and who came up with some excellent points about the hurdles the Rams are going to need to clear this year. It's not who you think. And we'll tell you who it is next. Andy and for Mace, I'm John Ireland, ESPN LA.
USC football.
Fight on.
Miller at the 5. Miller in the end zone. Touchdown USC. The Truth Trojans kick off the season Saturday, August 29th against San Jose State.
Right into a sack. Boom. Down he goes. Dives inside of the end zone. Touchdown, USC. Jake Mayava's done it with his feet again.
Kickoff is at noon.
On your home for Trojan football.
USC football is back this fall on ESPN LA. LA's mega sports station. Fight on.
Hey, LA and OC, if you love great food and smart prices, you need to know about Wild Fork Foods. Hosting, grilling, you just want a great dinner? Start at Wild Fork Foods. Find your local SoCal store at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork, quality meat and seafood, low prices, largest variety in one store.
Mike, you've been around a lot of teams, and what you've built at Rotolo Chevrolet, it just feels different.
Travis, I appreciate that. It all starts with believing in our people. If you empower them, they'll do right by the customer.
And that's where the culture comes from.
Exactly. We don't just sell cars. We focus on giving customers what they want and making it a great experience.
That's why people like me keep coming back. I've been here 3 times.
That's the win for us. I get to keep seeing you. Long-term relationships, not just transactions.
Rotolo Chevrolet, #1 for a reason.
John Ireland here, off the clock. My vodka is Blue Ice. Smooth, creamy, and made from non-GMO Idaho potatoes with pristine Teton water. No added sugar, and you can find it at Vons, Albertsons, and Pavilions. Blue Ice vodka, pure as the Tetons. Enjoy responsibly.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087. 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087 or simply visit TRA.com.
It's DeMarco Farr and Travis Rogers for your afternoon drive.
Oh, man, my feet need some love.
Today in particular, it was hot and sweaty, and my feet got torn up.
Y'all don't get pedicures?
Like the last time we went, I took me and my daughter and my wife, and the lady threw me out.
They're that rough, huh?
She was
too much work.
She was covered in dust.
You know what?
DeMarco and Travis have taken over Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hi, this is Devontae Adams of your LA Rams. The biggest show on the radio, this is Mason in Ireland. LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN. Listen to every Rams game on the all-new ESPN LA app.
3, 2, 1.
Who is this, BC? Good question.
Go Hawks. Sierra.
It's Sierra?
Yeah.
Okay. The Andy Kamenetzky information today. We were talking about the Rams' schedule earlier in the week when you were here, and I hate that they're being sent to Australia. People are sick of me pointing this out because it's going the other way. They're adding more international games, not less. But I was so busy harping on the fact that that's how they're starting the season, and they're going to be at a competitive disadvantage right out of the gate, that I didn't look at the rest of the schedule. Well, someone else did. And she pointed out in a social media post that the Rams not only play in Australia, they play on Christmas Day, they play on Thanksgiving Eve, they have 7 primetime games, and don't have a real bye week. The Rams are traveling 35,000 miles this year, which is second in the NFL, only behind the Niners, who also have to go to Australia. They're going to do 38,000 miles. The Rams rank 27th in the NFL in overall prep and rest conditions. And the person who figured all of this out was Kelly Stafford, Matthew Stafford's wife. And she said, parenting season will be such a joy because she has 4 girls at home.
I was going to say, she doesn't seem as put off by this from a football perspective. She seems more put off by the, this is
availability of her husband.
Right, this is what mothering is going to be like during the NFL season. This sucks.
And by what she says is not a real bye week, because technically their bye week is the week before they play on Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve. So instead of having a full rest your week and a week off, they have 10 days off because they play earlier in the week following.
But I thought that was interesting that Kelly Stafford is the one who made me realize, oh, God, they don't get any holidays. I had this with the Lakers one year. We were gone for every holiday. We were gone on Thanksgiving. We were gone on Christmas. We were gone on Valentine's Day. We were gone. It just worked out that way. And that's the Rams this year. They got a game on Thanksgiving Eve. They got a game on Christmas Day.
Hopefully a game on Valentine's Day.
The game on Valentine's Day would be the Super Bowl. So it's a real thing that they gotta pay attention to.
I have had this conversation I've been with my wife. We met in 2006. So we have been together for 20 years, married 17 of them, something like that. Every year, she will say they're playing on Christmas with this tone of when did that happen? This tone of both when did that happen and pissed off at me, as if this has not been her life for the last 20 years. The Lakers play every year on Christmas.
BC, did you figure this out while you were gone? That on Christmas Day this year, on ESPN LA, LeBron comes back to Crypto.com Arena.
Very nice.
Lakers Sixers at 2:00. Rams Seahawks at 5:15.
Wow.
That may be the biggest day of the calendar year at ESPN LA.
And the first of 2 matchups with Seahawks too. So this one is the first one in Seattle.
Andy, answer this question in 30 seconds or less. Is Jerry Jones successful?
Yes.
Well, that was a lot less than 30 seconds.
I mean,
I agree 100%.
By any real world standard, being a billionaire who owns the Dallas Cowboys, you are successful.
Building that stadium that holds 110,000 people, being the first owner in the NFL to monetize sponsorships and keep them for yourselves before Jerry Jones did it, they all had to share. So before you make your next point, that's why I was surprised. Jerry Jones, to me, I would look at if I was an owner in any sport as kind of a role model. I think he's done it right.
I would not, but go on.
The guy who would agree with you, of all people, is Troy Aikman. Listen to what he said this week about Jerry Jones. Troy, won, was it 2 or 3 Super Bowls with Jerry? I think he won 3. Here's Troy talking about the current state of the Cowboys.
It's hard to fathom. I mean, it really is, because we see it. We talk every year about parity and how we've seen teams that have gone from last to first and teams that have not been historically very good, and yet they still make a run. They'll make it to a championship game or they'll make it to a Super Bowl, and yet for the Cowboys, that hasn't happened. And it's hard to really put your finger on it exactly why, because when you look at the number of regular season wins that they've had, they're probably top 5 over the last 2 decades, and yet it hasn't translated into the postseason. And the Cowboys fans, they deserve better. I do know that. I mean, this is the Cowboys, the flagship franchise, and the fact that the Cowboys in 30 years has not made it to a championship game. I mean, that's let alone a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just it's hard to fathom.
All right, so Jerry Jones, as he mentioned, they win more than they lose. They make more money than any team in the NFL. If they sold their team today, it would get, believe it or not, more than the Lakers got. They'd be able to sell turn your mic back on.
No question.
Is Troy arguing that Jerry isn't successful? And
No.
is that what you would argue?
No, he is not arguing that Jerry isn't successful. I agree he's successful. But you didn't ask me, is he good at his job? If you ask me, is he good at his job, and part of that job is making decisions for the Dallas Cowboys, the answer is no. He's not good at that. And I think part of the job as being an owner, and when you said before you would use Jerry Jones as a role model, to which I said I would not, I think part of the role of a good owner is staying out of the way and knowing that nobody becomes a fan of a team because they want to see and hear more from the owner.
And not only the owner, but the GM.
Right.
And I think he's not a great GM, a good owner.
Right. And that's where I think Jerry Jones, again, is he successful? Of course he is. There is no rational metric where you can come up with Jerry Jones not being successful. That's not the same thing as being good at his job.
Or if the Cowboys have been successful. Because Cowboys, since I've been alive, like you said, have not made it to the championship game or the Super Bowl. They lose spectacularly every year in the postseason, even though they rack up 13, 14 wins. And so there comes to a point where you do have to have the rubber meet the road and win in the postseason and at least get to the championship game if you have all that talent.
So there's a guy in the YouTube chat, Andy, that's making the point you're making in a different way. But I would come back at both of you as saying you're either a success or you're not. But here's what he wrote. Clarence Hammond. Ireland asked the wrong question. Jerry's a successful businessman, but hasn't been a successful owner for the past 20 years. But if your job is to be in charge of the Cowboys, which is really his job, and they charge more money, they generate more income, his franchise is valued more than any other, they win enough where being a Cowboy fan isn't embarrassing. They win. Isn't that successful?
Again, he is successful insofar as he's had a successful career in owning things, including the Dallas Cowboys. They've turned billions many times over, but that's not the same thing as being good at the thing that Jerry likes to prop himself up for and be in front of the cameras for doing.
Can I ask you this, John?
I make the decisions.
Yeah.
If Dr. Buss
yeah.
did all the things he did for the NBA, the Laker girls, the courtside seats, making the Lakers into a successful organization in terms of money and business, but never won an NBA championship in 30 years, would that be successful? Like, I'm trying to relate the two.
It's actually a great comp.
Yeah. I don't know. He was so...
And with the team that he had, because the Cowboys have a lot of talent.
He was so visionary, Andy, and we're seeing this week. I don't think I've ever missed him more than I miss him this week. He was such a visionary and did so many great things for the game that I would have a problem saying he wasn't successful.
Well, okay, let me ask you this.
So the answer to your question, I'm not trying to duck it. The answer to your question is, I don't know. I guess what we're talking about in a roundabout way is, in sports, do you have to win titles to be considered successful?
Well, are you defining success by more than just the bottom line? I mean, because in all honesty, if you're defining it by the bottom line, every single owner in sports is likely a success story because these franchises in the end continually make money. Like, the valuation always goes up.
So Donald Sterling made a fortune.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone could argue he was a good owner.
Right.
Or successful
Right.
owner.
But by the standard you're holding Jerry to, Donald Sterling was a very successful owner.
Because he made money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Donald Sterling wasn't a visionary, wasn't inventive, didn't do anything that lasted beyond him other than insult black people. I mean, that's what his legacy is now.
Sure.
But
I'll tell you this. My wife is a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. She grew up in Texas. Her whole family is Cowboys fans. They will tell you Jerry Jones is not good at his job. And they would be thrilled if he sold that franchise. They'd be thrilled.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
No, it's not.
All right, coming up next, we're going to do some Fast Track. First, let me tell you about ZipRecruiter. I saw Ian Siegel this week, the guy who invented ZipRecruiter, and as Ian says, they don't leave anything to chance. If you are hiring, you got to use ZipRecruiter, and right now you can use it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. With ZipRecruiter, when you need to hire, you get the right fit for any role fast. How fast? 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site in the game based on G2. So if you need to score the best, go with ZipRecruiter. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
High altitude, short rest, and a Western Conference battle awaits for the black and gold.
Oh, what a goal! Son of
LAFC hits the road looking for a bounce-back win as they invade Colorado.
LAFC!
Pre-game of LAFC versus Colorado Rapids starts tonight at 6 p.m. on the home of the black and gold, 710 ESPN and ESPN LA app.
It's DeMarco Farr and my guy, attorney Big Al, in studio with me today.
The biggest mistake that people do is think that they can handle a car accident themselves. I don't need a lawyer. I don't need to bother with a lawyer. I'll just do it. It's not a big deal. I'll talk to the insurance company and handle it myself. That's the biggest mistake you could do because you don't know what you're doing. There are lots of different aspects of a car accident that you're going to mess up. And as you mess up your case in 1 week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks, by the time you call the lawyer, it's way too late. You already messed everything up. So the first mistake is thinking that you can do this yourself. You're not going to do a good job. You're going to hurt yourself and cause yourself a lot of pain down the road. The point of getting an attorney is to let them take care of all the problems. They're the experts. They know how to deal with all the problems. They know how to fix your car. They know how to get you treatment. They know how to deal with insurance companies. Don't do it yourself.
If you're in an accident, I've got a guy, attorney Big Al, 1-800-HURT-123 or attorneybigalca.com.
Attorney Big Al's attorney Ken Klein, based in Los Angeles. USC football.
Fight on.
Miller at the 5. Miller in the end zone. Touchdown, USC.
The Trojans kick off the season Saturday, August 29th against San Jose State.
Right into a sack. Boom. Down he goes. Dives inside of the end zone. Touchdown, USC. Jake Mayava's done it with his feet again.
Kickoff is at noon.
On your home for Trojan football.
USC football is back this fall on ESPN LA, LA's mega sports station. Fight on.
Welcome to Milagro Tequila, where the sun shines, good times roll, and tequila pours. Take a sip of sunshine this summer with Milagro Tequila, crafted from 100% Blue Weber agave for bright flavor and exceptional smoothness. Shake up fresh margaritas with Milagro Silver. Mix the perfect paloma with Milagro Reposado, or enjoy the rich, smooth taste of Milagro Añejo on the rocks. Find Milagro at your favorite retailer, in-store, and online. Tequila never tasted brighter. Milagro Tequila. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
And it is 2 p.m. in the Southland on the biggest show on the radio, Mason in Ireland.
All right, it is time for Fast Track.
Fast Track.
The return of Fast Track, driven by our friends at Cerritos Auto Square. Why do more people buy their car at Cerritos Auto Square than from any other location in Southern California? Easy. With 24 dealerships side by side, car shoppers can find the right car at the right price at the right location. Cerritos Auto Square. Learn more at CerritosAutoSquare.com.
Time for Fast Track.
Down low is 350 cube, 3 1/4 horsepower, 4-speed, 410 gears, 10 coats of competition orange, hand rubbed lacquer with a blue plane manifold, open race cams.
Fast Track on Mason in Ireland.
Time for Fast Track. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today. Andy Kamenetzky sitting in for him. What do you got, Em? Zoom, zoom.
All right, so there is an actress. Her name is Indy Navarrete. She was the star of Obsession, which was the surprise hit of this year. Made back its money
All right,
tenfold.
So tell me, give me I'm unfamiliar with Obsession. Give me the 30-second synopsis of what that movie is about.
Are you aware of Monkey's Paw?
No.
Okay, a monkey's paw is where you wish on something, but the wish is literal, so it'll give you bad things. So a boy is in love with a girl, is friend-zoned. He wishes that she would love him more than anything else in the world, and she ends up doing it and becomes obsessed to a point in which everything in his life crumbles around him.
Okay.
But Indy Navarrete is the,
and
by far...
She's the female lead of that movie.
Yes, she is the girl that is wished upon, and she is a beautiful girl, but she gave it an amazing performance. She's going to be an award season conversation. But she was just recently cast in the new reboot from MCU version of X-Men. She's going to play Rogue. But in doing so, she ended up turning down a role in the sequel to Heat, or I guess it's the prequel.
Prequel
Heat
and sequel.
Okay, great. Prequel and sequel. She's going to get a role in the movie Heat 2. And just to explain how big of a movie this is going to be, Heat is like a cult classic directed by Michael Mann. And this Heat 2 already is going to star Leonardo DiCaprio, Christian Bale, Austin Butler, Adam Driver. But she chose to take the money and the longevity of X-Men. So put yourself into the shoes of her manager. What is the better option? Maybe not the most prestigious, but a lot of money, but maybe some prestige and get you more roles in the future.
Okay, did she have a firm offer from Michael Mann to do Heat 2?
Let's say that she did.
Because, Andy, I think that's the linchpin. In Hollywood, much like in the world we live in, you and I are good examples of this. For 20-plus years, we go to where the work is.
Mm-hmm.
And we have both, without getting too personal, we have both had situations where it appeared we were going one way, and for whatever reason, due to circumstances beyond our control, we ended up going another way.
Oh, yeah.
So what I would say about this girl, what's her name?
Indy Navarrete.
What I would say about Indy is if you've got a bird in the hand, if you have got a job that you know is a good job, will pay you well, you think the franchise will be a success, such as X-Men, I would not say no to reach for a higher ring that isn't as far down the road as X-Men is. So I have zero issues with what she did. How about you?
If I were her manager, I think I actually would have advised her to take the X-Men role too. Not even just because of the idea of being with a franchise, and it could be, generational money.
Financial security.
Right, just from this one thing, and then hopefully you can branch it off into other stuff. I've read Heat 2, the book that is being turned into the movie.
Yeah.
While I don't know what her role that she ultimately turned down would be, there's only 2 significant female roles in the book, and one of them I don't think she's right for. If it's the other role, I think it's a role that she could potentially end up overshadowed by the presences of DiCaprio and Bale, and a movie that is going to be very male-dominated because those are the characters.
To your point, if DiCaprio and Bale do what they normally do and just devour the screen, that part could get minimized or even cut.
But think about Lily Gladstone. Like, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, she jumps off the page, got nominated for an Oscar for a role alongside Leonardo DiCaprio, and you can see her go toe-to-toe. I think it's just, do you want to be known as a prestige actor, or do you want to be employed?
I would take the employed because it's
so hard. You never know if this moment,
by the way,
will last.
Brian, what would you have done? Would you have taken X-Men, or would you have waited for Heat 2?
I think you got to go with the X-Men, go with the franchise and possibility of more.
By the way, this is where you took us, Emily, is a very fun rabbit hole to go down. If you just Google actors that passed on famous roles, you'll be stunned at what comes up. Will Smith was offered Neo in The Matrix, said he didn't understand it, so he passed on it. How about this? Al Pacino was offered Harrison Roll's Han Solo part in the Star Wars series, and he turned it down. Sean Connery turned down Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. Molly Ringwald turned down the Julia Roberts part in Pretty Woman. Michelle Pfeiffer turned down the Jodie Foster role in Silence of the Lambs. Matt Damon was offered Jake Sully in Avatar. They all passed on these things. And so this happens a lot. They have to make decisions. I have zero issue with the decision she made.
And sometimes taking the role that gets you money allows you to take some risks in other places. So she could do more indie movies if she wanted to, because she doesn't have to make money off of it. So if you can cash in on the X-Men and go somewhere else, that also gives you the flexibility if she makes the right choices. But I hope she does, because she's really talented.
This happened to me once. I was working at KCAL, and they were about to make me the Lakers sideline reporter. And I got a job offer I was friends with a guy named Tony Alivato who was in charge of the TVG network, the horse racing network. He goes, I'm going to make you like the face of this network. You're going to be our lead anchor. And he gave me a big offer. And I said, all right, let me think about it. And I thought long and hard about it because it was for a lot of money. And I said, I grew up a huge Laker fan. I want to see where this is going to lead. Thank God I did what I did.
Absolutely.
Because, the road not taken. BC, what's next?
Fast Track.
All right, well, if you didn't know today, just everything on ESPN is the official start of Little League World Series.
Right.
One of my favorite, tournaments that they air all year. International team kicked off today. We got a little extra inning right now between Washington and Alabama. Great game so far. I think those
0-0 game, which is rare
Both
in Little
pitchers
League.
went, 5-6 innings.
Right.
My question here, though, is now in the world of NIL, how far away are we from these Little League 12, 13-year-olds hitting a kick down and slice the pie? Because they're on TV, on ESPN from, I think, 10 to 9 for the next 2 weeks.
And they're not getting a penny, Andy, and they're the ones providing. It's the same concept. To Brian's question, it's the same concept that NIL was based on. If they're generating the programming, they should get a piece of the pie. If I put you in charge of all things Little League, would you pay the players?
You know what? I probably would, because I'd feel like this is where it's going anyway. So I might as well keep my job if I want to be involved with the Little League World Series. Because if I say no, I'm going to be replaced by a commissioner who says yes.
Mace used to have the position. I think he's evolved over the years. I'll ask him when he comes back. He's coming back next Wednesday, Em?
Yeah.
He hated that the Little League World Series was televised because, like only Mace can do, he said, if some kid drops a fly ball and costs his team the World Series, that kid's going to be in a bell tower in 10 years shooting at things. And I thought, that's not the craziest thought anyone's ever had. You would obviously hope that would never happen. But
it can happen whether it's televised or not.
Right.
But the fact that it's televised can elevate it even more. I mean, look, one of the items that Emily sent us in terms of non-sports was Kim Kardashian is producing a reality TV series about essentially like club baseball.
Yeah.
And it'll turn into club baseball moms. And this is the grossest thing. This is so awful because you are going to be encouraging players' mothers, players' fathers to be outrageous, to be argumentative, to be combative.
This is like Dance Moms.
Right.
So,
It's Dance Moms.
Hey, Jaden Daniels' mom doesn't have a kid in that Little League, does she?
She does not.
And ultimately, these kids are going to end up taking the brunt of their parents who are going to be trying to act the fool as much as they can because they want to make sure that their character is dominant.
Some follow-up from Dance Moms. The girls in that, some continued to dance and didn't, but they talk a lot about the, psychological aspects of being on TV at that age, having your moms yell and fight your dance teacher at that age. And while I won't say that I didn't watch it, because I did watch it and I did love it as a kid, I wasn't the child witnessing my mom slap my teacher in the face.
It's honestly like that news item you sent, Emily, like with Kardashian doing this, it's straight up gross.
By the way, I'm now fully down this rabbit hole of actors who turned down one role.
There's a
to
lot
go
of
another.
them, man.
How about this? Gal Gadot was offered Barbie and turned it down because of scheduling conflict.
Goodness.
I was going to say that is to the benefit
She's
of
a terrible
all.
actress.
After she turned it down, Amy Schumer was
She'd
offered it.
Well, she'd been developing something
Like
different.
a parallel one.
It would have been a very different movie.
Because I know Margot didn't want to be in it because she was going to be producing it, and so she had kind of done a roundabout way of getting to that Barbie role.
Leonardo DiCaprio turned down Mark Wahlberg's role in Boogie Nights. It worked out fine. He did Titanic. But he has said before he always regretted it, and that ultimately led him to doing one battle after another. Alec Baldwin turned down Harrison Ford's role in The Fugitive. That's a mistake.
How about this? Kate McKinnon was originally offered the role of Elizabeth Holmes in The Dropout, the one that
Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda Seyfried just killed it.
Yeah, I don't think Kate would have been too funny or tried to be too funny. Also, the parallel story.
Kate McKinnon can do not funny. Did you ever see Bombshell, the movie?
I did.
About
and she still was kind of a little bit of comic relief, but there was a parallel story, parallel producing of the Elizabeth Holmes story where what's her face, Jennifer Lawrence was going to play Elizabeth Holmes in a movie, but then realized how good Amanda Seyfried did and then stopped that.
Denzel turned down, I'm pretty sure it was the Brad Pitt role, but I know the movie was correct. He turned down 7. He said it was too dark and too disturbing, and then he came to regret it.
How about this? Matt Damon was originally tapped to star in Avatar, and James Cameron offered him 10% of the movie's profits, which would have been more than $250 million. And he turned it down because he was working on the Bourne Identity.
You know what, though? I think it worked out just fine for Damon. Like, he's already swimming in more money than he'll ever need. I don't think Avatar would have really done anything for him. Like, can you really think of an actor for whom Avatar, it's really popped for them?
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe, yeah.
Zoe, I guess.
But she then went to Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I did a charity event with her one night. Could not have been nicer.
She seems nice in it.
Yeah, just could not
and
have
I
been
think
nicer.
the guy who played Jake Sully made fine money.
By the way, how about this? You guys all see the movie Grease? John Travolta,
Yes.
Olivia Newton-John? Henry Winkler was offered the Danny Zuko role, the John Travolta role, and he turned it down because he didn't want to be typecast after playing the Fonz on Happy Days.
Travolta had done the role on Broadway and stuff. Like, he was a pretty natural guy to bring in.
Here's Winkler said, "I am a damn fool. I only realized years afterwards I thought I played the Fonz. I don't want to do it again. Huge mistake." You know the movie Groundhog Day? You could totally see this guy being great in it. It was eventually played by Bill Murray. It was first offered to Michael Keaton.
Oh, I could totally see
He would have nailed it.
He would have been great.
Yeah, he would have nailed it. Wow, The Road Not Taken.
I got to be honest, though. I don't think Grease with Henry Winkler works the same way. Like, you got to remember, just because actor X turns down that role, it doesn't mean everything turns out exactly the same. And, like, I don't think Grease with Henry Winkler, and I love Henry Winkler, I don't think Grease with Henry Winkler works even a quarter of as well as Grease with John Travolta.
Halle Berry originally offered Sandra Bullock's role in Speed, which turned out to be the role that turned Bullock into a star.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. You get these all the time, man.
Madonna was offered a role in The Matrix. She turned it down. She says, "I can't believe I did that." Wow. How about this? Jessica Simpson was cast to star in The Notebook, but she said no because she didn't want to film a sex scene with Ryan Gosling. Do you know how many women would have jumped at a chance to film sex scene with Ryan Gosling? That
Emily's like, I can think of one of them in this studio.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I remember, John, years ago, back when I was pursuing acting out of college.
Yeah.
I auditioned for some independent movie that
it's called Avatar.
It's called Avatar, but it never ended up getting made. It was some small budget thing that I'm pretty sure nothing ever happened with it. But I had a couple callbacks for it and whatever. But I was told that if I got this role, Sheryl Crow was attached to the movie, and I would have to do a love scene with Sheryl Crow. And I was asked, "Are you okay with this?" I said, "On a bunch of different levels, I'm fine with it."
All right.
Don't need to worry.
More Fast Track coming up next. First, let me tell you about my friends at Globe Life. The best protection, the best kind of life insurance is the kind you set up long before you ever need it. The quiet protection standing between you, your family, and the unexpected. Globe Life has been in business for more than 125 years, and today they issue more life insurance policies than any other company in the country. Coverage you can apply for in minutes, either online or with an agent. Build your family's defense at globelifeinsurance.com. That's globelifeinsurance.com. Globe Life, the official life insurance company of the Los Angeles Lakers.
It is Fast Track on Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and always on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles, driven by Cerritos Auto Square.
And it is time for Fast Track.
Fast Track.
Why do more people buy their car at Cerritos Auto Square than from any other location in Southern California? Easy. With 24 dealerships side by side, car shoppers can find the right car at the right price at the right location. Cerritos Auto Square. Learn more at CerritosAutoSquare.com.
Time for Fast Track.
More Fast Track next.
Mornings in LA start with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
Can you put up the screen, though? The shot we use for Stay Tuned? because that made me laugh a moment ago. I didn't. Now, Cappy and I, we got our point thing going because that was, with the Cappy thing. Travis and DeMarco look like they're just, they're vacationing somewhere. Mason and Ireland look like they look like Muppets, like puppets, like somebody has their hand behind their back and they're opening their mouths like a puppet's mouth, like very wide. Like, hey, the puppets are here, they're like,
Oh, yeah.
He's always hated it. He does hate it, though, because they're growling.
But why did they take that picture?
Because they were growling. They growl at the beginning of the show.
That's their theme, though. Their theme is the growl. But it looks like somebody's behind them with a hand and just opening their mouth. Like Cappy's puppet.
The Morning Show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN Los Angeles.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. Choose from 5-piece dumplings original or chili crisp or a spicy boom boom taco. Pair with your favorite premium or beverage, including our new strawberry watermelon lemonade refresher. Both for just $5 only at Waba Grill.
There you were, surrounded by fans, sharing wings, sharing drinks, high-fiving random strangers. Everybody remembers the game, but nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you until a few days later. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you got a fever, your throat's on fire. So now what? Urgent care closed, ER slammed, telehealth, maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You need a medical emergency kit. These are not first aid kits, everybody. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions, sinus and ear infections, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more. You can even use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care in a drugstore in your house. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes, and it's shipped to your door. Save $45 with our promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710. That's promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Chris Canty here. Football season is back, and Lids has you covered. Just in time for kickoff. Want the latest headwear to rep your team at the tailgate, at the barbecue, or at the game? Shop the 47 brand NFL collection. Exclusively in store at your local Lids. This collection puts a new spin on retro NFL gear. Lids has every fan covered with all 32 teams, featuring the big time hits and alternate team logos. You'll find the perfect fit for every Sunday. Selection may vary by store.
Fast Track.
And it is Fast Track on 710 ESPN. Mason and Ireland on the all-new ESPN LA app, 7:10 a.m. and always on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles. Fast Track now back in the 2 p.m. hour on Mason and Ireland, driven by Cerritos Auto Square. Why do more people buy their car at Cerritos Auto Square than from any other location in Southern California? Easy. With 24 dealerships side by side, car shoppers can find the right car at the right price at the right location. Cerritos Auto Square. Learn more at CerritosAutoSquare.com. Once again, back to Fast Track and back to Mason and Ireland on 710.
All right, more Fast Track here. Em, what do you got?
So last night, I did something for the first time. I went to this thing called Master Swim, where you have basically swim practice with a coach, and you have a team that you swim with. And I haven't swam with a coach in probably 8 years since I left college. And so it was a really different experience for me. I really enjoyed it. They were all really nice. But it got me thinking of, like, at one point in time, I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that extra 100. I'm just, like, going to end because I'm an adult and I'm paying to be here. I don't need to do this.
Right.
So do you think at this point in your life you could be coached? Are you coachable today?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the minute you think you're not, you stop growing. I don't know most things. So if anybody can coach me or tell me or make me better, I'm all in.
Absolutely. I mean, I've told Bergman, I've told Morales, like, give me feedback. I want it. Like, and I'm not just looking to hear you did great today. Like, if something isn't good, I want to know so I can try to fix it. Like, I grew up playing drums. I would love if I had the time to actually go back to taking drum lessons again. Like, I think it would be awesome. And if I ever started playing again, I would need them.
Okay.
I would love to do that.
Okay. I will be your drum teacher as long as I can channel J.K. Simmons in Whiplash.
Not
and
my
you
tempo.
played the Miles Teller role.
Are you rushing or are you dragging?
I had when I was in high school, I quit. I played drums in a band, like a garage band with some friends. But I also did school band for a little bit, like the class, until my teacher, who had that type of J.K. Simmons Whiplash temper,
Personality.
and in particular, he used to take it out on the percussionists. He one time, like one of his latest and last freak out for me, he went from the front of the stage where he was conducting back to the percussion, ripped my drumsticks out of my hand, and threw them across the auditorium. I don't even remember why.
Right.
I just walked out of class, and I went to whoever's in charge of scheduling. I said, I just dropped band. I'll find a different elective. Like, I just realized, like, I don't need to take this.
Teacher survive doing it that way?
Apparently he did, although it turned out, in retrospect, he was going through a god-awful divorce. I had heard later on, like after I graduated, that he used to be sleeping at the school. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. I know, Brian, could you still be coach?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I think when the minute you say no to that, you think you've already arrived, then you're in trouble.
But I also think at our age is when you get feedback, you can always take it, but you don't always have to enact on it. You can also react to the feedback, just like how with that coach, he was like, oh, here's the set. I'm like, I'm not doing that last 100, but thank you for everything, and we're going to continue on.
BC, what do you got?
Fast track.
Well, one of the first things I saw on social media when I got my phone back, kind of, came back into the world here, was the tweet of, hey, do you want to be LeBron's next teammate? And I thought that was kind of interesting. From the 76ers G League team, they're apparently holding open tryouts.
Right.
2 different dates here coming up in the next couple of weeks. With I think they said they can allow up to 3 people to their training camp, if they're good enough for these tryouts.
And you got to pay, right?
So that's kind of my takeaway here. It's $200 to enter these tryouts. Is this, just a publicity stunt? Do they actually think that they might find a gem, in the rough here? Take on these open tryouts.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but there was a guy who made the Lakers a few years ago that showed up for an open tryout with the Sparks. Or not Sparks, open tryout with the South Bay Lakers, and nailed it. David Nwaba.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
And turned out to be a really good player.
Yeah,
made it to the NBA, got one really good contract where he made $2 or $3 million a year.
I think it was with the Bulls.
Yeah. But
or the Rockets, one of them.
So I actually love stories like that. And Brian, I think the reason they put the $200 thing in there is they don't want every Yahoo off the street showing up. Like, you ever see that movie Invincible where the Eagles have open tryouts and guys are showing up in capes and but if you make me pay $200, that shows I'm taking it seriously. And Nwaba, actually, it turned out to be a career for him.
Yeah, it was really awesome. He was a solid defensive role player.
Right.
And you can put in your resume, I was LeBron James' teammate, technically, if you look down the list.
I saw LeBron today. I was at the golf course and LeBron was working on his swing.
How's it coming along?
Good. He was wearing.
Have you watched his YouTube videos yet?
No, but I don't think people in LA will necessarily gravitate to it, as Andy will tell you, as the host of Locked On Lakers. LeBron is no longer the most popular athlete in town. I'm not sure he ever was.
I was going to say, when did that happen?
But I think nationally, people probably will watch that channel. Bronny Stan, right?
I think he could. Somebody needs to be moved because they have one too many players on the roster. I will say this, though. If Bronny leaves, I don't think it's because LeBron will demand he be in Philly, and therefore if LeBron needed Bronny in Philly, he'd already be in Philly. But somebody needs to be moved on the roster.
Yeah, and there's still rumors they could add people like Kuminga.
Right.
And then it would be more than one needs to be moved.
I think someone like whether Bronny or maybe Jaden Hardy or Dalton Connect, one of those guys needs to be moved. Has to be moved.
Bronny could buy the team. All right. Coming up next, a fantasy football finish last punishment that I'm not sure I could do. We'll share that with you coming up. First, let me tell you about Blue Ice. Blue Ice Vodka is as pure as the Tetons. They only use pristine water. And that's the reason there's no cleaner way to cocktail. Starts with potatoes, ends with great tasting vodka. It's smoothier. Good word, John. It's smoother, creamier, has no burn, gluten-free, only 64 calories per ounce. Blue Ice, available wherever you buy your spirits. Pure as the Tetons, Blue Ice.
High altitude, short rest, and a Western Conference battle awaits for the black and gold.
Oh, what a goal! Son of
LAFC hits the road looking for a bounce-back win as they invade Colorado.
LAFC!
Pre-game of LAFC versus Colorado Rapids starts tonight at 6 p.m. on the home of the black and gold, 710 ESPN and ESPN LA app.
Morongo's giving away a Mustang GT Fastback. It's sleek and turns heads. We already have so much in common. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Walker Hayes is bringing that country stuff to Morongo on the 22nd.
Number 2.
Morongo's Travel Center gas prices are the lowest around.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a 2026 Mustang GT Fastback, the 31st.
Morongo, good times.
Hey, John Ireland here. Here in Los Angeles, our city water is loaded with chlorine and chemicals. That's why I got a Life Source whole house water system. It cleans and conditions water from every tap for healthier water with no salt and no regular maintenance. Upgrade your water and your life with Life Source. I did, and I'll never go back. Call the Life Source California factory today at 800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com. Life Source water, it's not just better, it's essential. Life Source, taste and feel the difference. Warranty limitations apply.
Being a sports fan in Los Angeles can be unpredictable. Your ice cream shouldn't be. For over 80 years, Thrifty has delivered the exact same legendary experience, right down to our signature cylindrical scoop. It's the brand this city was raised on, and the easiest call you'll make on game day. Skip the debate. Just grab the carton everyone already agrees on. Thrifty Ice Cream, a California classic. Available at most major retailers.
Hi guys, it's Ramona Shelburne for Hyundai of Glendale, where it's back to school savings all month long. Right now, lease a brand new 2026 Hyundai Palisade SE for $279 a month. Comes with owner's assurance and America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Take it from me, with next level customer service and incredible dealer incentives, your next Hyundai is waiting for you at Hyundai of Glendale. Call 818-222-8000 or check them out at HyundaiofGlendale.net.
$279 per month plus tax. Close and lease for 24 months. $47.49 total due outstanding plus government fees and taxes. Unapproved above average credit through HMF. 7,500 miles per year. 20 cents per excess miles. Expires 8/30/26.
Rich Eisen here with some advice. If high-interest credit card debt is grinding you down, it might be time to call an audible with a SoFi personal loan. It consolidates your debt into one low monthly payment with no fees required. And with as soon as the same-day funding, you can make the right play fast. Call an audible on your debt today at SoFi.com/debtplay. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debtplay.
Harry Douglas here to help you ignite your taste buds with Firework Freeze 5-hour energy shots. Juicy cherry, citrus lime, and blue raspberry. It's that iconic freezer pop flavor, but with none of that guilty sugar aftermath. The perfect summer kick. It's delicious, portable, zero sugar energy shot bursting with flavor. Bring on the summer with Firework Freeze 5-hour energy shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com and on Amazon.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio.
I'm a babyface and John's a heel.
John's not a heel.
Exactly.
John's the heel.
Mr. 1%'s a heel.
He's a heel.
Well, I'm Mr. 1% and I own it.
Back to Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass that like Stockton.
All right, Mason and Ireland. By the way, Game of Games coming up in about 10 minutes. Andy's game. His games are always good. Okay, so have any of you heard of a book? The kid's book that was written late 60s called The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you guys have all heard of this. So a guy lost his fantasy football league. So he had to show up at work dressed like the Very Hungry Caterpillar kind of like when I had to come in here. You guys weren't on the show yet. I had to come in here when I lost the we were doing brackets for the NCAA tournament, and I finished last. So I had to dress like a bunny rabbit and hop everywhere for a day. Like, I went to Starbucks, I hopped. If I went to the bathroom, I had to hop. And I had a bunny suit on all day. I just had to own it.
DeAndre had to do the ride the D shirt.
Yeah. Okay, so this guy has to dress like so he's in a caterpillar outfit. But that's not the hardest part of the bet. Then he had to, the book revolves around a very hungry caterpillar with an insatiable appetite that eventually turns into a butterfly after consuming a series of foods. So while wearing the caterpillar outfit, in one sitting, he had to do this. Just tell me if you think you could pull it off, okay? An apple, 2 pears, 3 plums, 4 strawberries, 5 oranges, a piece of chocolate cake, an ice cream cone, a pickle, a slice of Swiss cheese, a slice of salami, a lollipop, a piece of cherry pie, a sausage, a cupcake, a slice of watermelon, and a nice green leaf. Could you do that, all those, in one sitting to pay off this bet, or would you be running to the bathroom or somewhere else before you could complete it?
How long do I get to sit?
As long as you want, but you can't go to the bathroom and you can't leave the room.
I think if you gave me like 6 to 7 hours of sitting and I could truly pace myself, I could do this. If I had to do it, though, in what would be one typical meal time, like an hour, not a chance. Not a
So you're
prayer.
saying you're not a very hungry caterpillar.
Not that hungry, no.
Yeah, that is no fun. It's too much sugar.
It's too much everything.
I have a question for you guys.
Right.
I know we're talking about fantasy football punishments. My league currently does not have a punishment. We just have a winner, and because everyone's also scattered, like it's all across the country. People are in this fantasy league with my friends and I. Do I have to have a punishment?
No, Mason and I do. Mason has finished last like 6 times.
Okay.
He would be out of the league if we had
My league, by the way, we have been debating doing a punishment, and nobody can land on anything. And honestly, so little gets actually enforced in our league. The idea of a punishment is just a waste of time because it's
Check it
never
out,
going
Andy.
to be
He
enforced.
did it all. He did it all on camera.
I saw this. Good for him, man.
I feel like
Good for
punishment
him.
works if you guys are all living next to each other and can enforce it somehow. I think if it's distance, it's not going to work.
Or also, I mean, like, if you're at a stage in life where you have kids and you have to juggle a bunch of other schedules, I don't have time to pay off a punishment. I guess I don't have time for that bleep.
All right, let me get this one last thing in here before we get to Game of Games. This is a college basketball story. Cal Poly, I think it's in Pomona, Cal Poly Pomona, has a basketball coach this year named Mike DeGeorge. He's a good coach. He has trouble getting good teams on the schedule because Cal Poly is good. They've upset good teams. So good teams like, well, I don't want to go lose to Cal Poly. They're too good. They upset Stanford at Stanford, Utah at Utah over the past 2 seasons. Now, the way small schools like Cal Poly make money is to schedule paycheck games, which are games against big schools that pay the small schools essentially to lose, but really they're just paying them to get an opponent. And Cal Poly has become so good, and this guy, DeGeorge, has become such a good coach that nobody wants to play him. So the coach knew that his best player was going to enter the transfer portal. So the best player in his team, like, averages 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, really good player. One of the reasons why they pull off all these upsets. He knew that player was going into the transfer portal, and he also knew before anyone else that the guy decided, I'm staying. So the player comes in to tell the coach, he goes, hey, I looked at the transfer portal. I've decided to stay. I want to play with my friends. I want to play for you. The coach says, do me a favor. Don't announce it. Keep it to yourself for a couple more weeks. And I'm trying to schedule some games, and I think if you announce that you're coming back, they won't play us. But if they think you're not on our team, they might do it. So it worked out. That's what they thought. They took the games. Once those games got agreed to, the player announced he was returning to Cal Poly. So my question to you is, the coach and the player, is this smart, crafty, or dishonest and should be criticized? I can't decide. I think I'm leaning towards smart.
What is there to criticize about this? Like, I'm not going to reward a bunch of cowards that don't want to play Cal Poly. Like, if you're so concerned about your season, like you feel like we should have the type
I'm just trying not to get fired. If you have this great player, and I'm going, hey, Andy, I'll play you, but your best player's leaving, right? And you go, he's in the portal, I don't know.
If you are that concerned about your upcoming game against Cal Poly, you're likely getting fired anyway.
Is that on the part of the coach? And by the way, this is all in Bro Bible. I assume this story is accurate. It could be embellished. But the fact that this guy's built a good program at Cal Poly should be commended.
Yeah.
Is what that coach did smart or a little bit shady?
I think it is smart, but I also think they probably still would have had him play if he was on the team. I don't know.
Brian, more smart or more shady?
I think more smart. It's playing the hand that he has. It's
right.
a good play.
And take it a step further. It's not my problem if I'm just trying to do the best I can. If I'm bringing my best player back, that's not a reason for you to back out.
Again, I cannot stress this enough. If your program is this worried about playing Cal Poly, you're not the program you think you are.
Well, Cal Poly, you're missing the point of the story.
No.
Cal Poly's good.
I know that, but what my point is, if you're one of these schools that's thinking this much about your schedule, it's because you expect to be one of those powerhouse schools.
Yeah.
You can't be that good if you're this worried about Cal Poly.
This used to happen with Gonzaga before they became a national name, like when they were just good, and everybody they would call they'd call UCLA and say, "Hey, let's play a game," and UCLA would say, "You're a small school from Spokane? Sure, bring it on." And then they'd come down and hit 23s. So I commend the guys. I'm pro Cal Poly here.
Absolutely.
All right, coming up next is Game of Games. It is Andy's game. Do you want to give a preview or do you want to surprise us?
It involves women.
Okay.
Emily's in the lead.
All right. Em, do we know who's playing yet?
DeMarco.
Oh, good. Okay, so DeMarco Farr will join us. We'll play a little Game of Games. That's next, ESPN LA.
Coming up Thursday on the Sedano and Cab Morning Show, well, we have the day off, sort of. It's a best of edition of the Sedano and Cab Morning Show. Fun and frivolity. Maybe we'll sneak in some of the highlights from the Summer of Schwans.
The Summer of Schwans.
And highlights from this past Tuesday's show, because it was that good. Don't miss the best of edition of the Sedano and Cab Morning Show, Thursday morning at 7 a.m. on LA's mega sports station, 7:10 a.m. and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Oh. Wacky forced radio stunt of the year. Ha-ha!
John Ireland here. Blue Ice starts with Idaho potatoes and ends with a smooth, creamy vodka without the burn. Try classic, double espresso, or Idaho huckleberry, all under $20. Ask for Blue Ice by name at your favorite bar or restaurant. Pure as the Tetons. Enjoy responsibly.
Call Jacob. Hey, it's Mace.
And I'm Ireland.
You already know how to count. You already know who to call. Simple counting pattern that lands on Jacob every time. 800-345-6789.
So basically, if you can count to 9, you can count on Jacob. 800-345-6789.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob. 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Hey, LA and OC, if you love great food and smart prices, you need to know about Wild Fork Foods. Hosting, grilling, you just want a great dinner? Start at Wild Fork Foods. Find your local SoCal store at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork, quality meat and seafood, low prices, largest variety in one store.
Do you read more about your team in the off-season than in the season? Does your game day outfit include a brown bag with eye holes? Then you may be a fan of a BST or bad sports team. Luckily, when you bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive, you're protected. Because seeing your painted face in the rearview mirror after a loss isn't just depressing. It's distracting. Visit Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Covered subject to policy terms. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John's day is off to a slow start.
So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
And it is time on Mason and Ireland for the final segment. The final segment of the show, always Game of Games time, presented by the one and only Jacob Emrani.
Call Jacob.
CallJacob.com. And yes, that new telephone number, 800-345-6789. 800-345-6789.
Hi, this is Jacob Emrani.
Game of Games made possible by the law offices of Jacob Emrani. Let's do it. Game of Games time on Mason and Ireland. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today. By the way, one update on that Cal Poly story. I had the wrong city. There was a Cal Poly in Pomona. This is Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Okay. Oh.
That was so I was too far south, Andy.
Okay.
All right. DeMarco Farr joining us. Hi, DeMarco.
I have a lot of people go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, and their basketball team's good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we've got 4 players. Brian Cohen, Emily Hebel, me, and DeMarco Farr. Our host is Andy Kamenetzky. AK, what's the game?
Happy heavenly 80th birthday to Dawn Steele, who famously became the first woman to run a Hollywood studio.
Okay.
In 1987, to put it mildly, when she was the president of Columbia Pictures, it was a glass ceiling moment in Hollywood. She had been a big part of Paramount. So with that in mind, we're going to do a game about women who've broken glass ceilings.
Okay.
Oh.
Dawn Steele's father, Nat, his last name at birth was Spielberg, but he changed it to Steele, like the metal, as a reflection of what? A tribute to his side of the family that was multi-generational steel workers after he became the first college graduate. He was a semi-pro weightlifter, so it was a tribute to the steel that he put up, or he was a DJ, so Wheels of Steel.
Oh, my God.
So either steel workers, weightlifter, or Wheels of Steel.
Brian.
DJ.
Emily.
Steelworkers.
Weightlifter. I'll give you one of each. DeMarco?
I'm going with Wheels of Steel. Yeah.
John Ireland on the board first.
Okay.
It is, he was a weightlifter. He'd been a semi-pro weightlifter. So John is first on the board with one. Everyone else.
So first question's not about a woman. It's about a man.
Connected.
It's wow.
That's an excellent point.
Wow.
Okay.
You're speechless. Okay, number 2.
Okay.
This one better be, if not, change this question so it's about a woman.
AK is stunned.
What was the first, what was the first movie Dawn Steele greenlit as president of Columbia? Remember, Emily, she did the green lighting herself, even if the movie involved men. It was ultimately her decision. Casualties of War with Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox, When Harry Met Sally with Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, or Troop Beverly Hills with Shelley Long and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar playing himself. So Casualties of War, When Harry Met Sally, or Troop Beverly Hills' first movie, Dawn Steele greenlit as the president of Columbia.
M.
Troop Beverly Hills.
I also think it's Troop Beverly Hills. DeMarco.
When Harry Met Sally.
Brian.
When Harry Met Sally.
You're all wrong. It was Casualties
You're
of War.
You're kidding me.
Wow, the one I thought it wouldn't be.
And
right. Wow, that was a horrible scene.
Yeah. Pauline Kael, the late, great film critic, said whatever else Steele does, she should be honored for that decision because it was risky material. Sandra Day O'Connor was the first woman to ever sit on the Supreme Court. She was accepted into this prestigious college at age 16. Which college was it? Harvard, University of Chicago, or Stanford? Harvard, University of Chicago, or Stanford? Sandra Day O'Connor accepted there at age 16.
I am going to go Stanford. DeMarco.
Chicago.
Brian.
Harvard.
Emily.
Chicago.
It is Stanford. John up. She graduated magna cum laude, also did her law school in Palo Alto.
Okay, so I have 2, but everyone else is still alive for Lucky Loser, so it's not like I'm pulling away from anybody.
Marie Curie was the first woman to both win a Nobel a Nobel Prize, and then the first and only person to win a Nobel Prize in 2 different scientific fields. What were the fields? physics and chemistry, neuroscience and physiology, or cell biology and medicine? Physics and chem, neuroscience and physiology, cell biology and medicine.
DeMarco.
C.
Cell biology and medicine.
Yeah.
Brian.
Cell biology and medicine.
M.
C as well.
It's unanimous. I think it's too weird for you to come up with cell biology, so I think that's the answer.
No, it's not the answer. It's physics and chemistry.
It's the one that I thought sounded the easiest one to make
It
up.
actually is a It actually is a category. I can't come up with that on my own. Physics and chemistry. She discovered polonium. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. Sounds like it might be going a bomb, though.
Mm-hmm.
All
Good.
right. John has 2. No one else has any, so everyone is alive right now. Here
everyone's
we go.
alive. Shirley Chisholm, in 1968, became the first black woman elected to Congress. How many terms did she serve in total? 5, 6, or 7? 5, 6, or 7 total terms in Congress for Shirley Chisholm.
Brian.
6.
Emily.
5.
I'm going to go 7. DeMarco.
7.
DeMarco, you're on the board finally. 7 terms for Shirley Chisholm. She also ran for president in 1972, becoming the first woman to ever appear in a presidential debate.
I did know that one.
All right, so it is John 3, DeMarco 1, and Emily and Brian Bupkis.
Yep.
Here we go.
Nancy Lieberman in 2009 became the first woman to coach a professional men's basketball team when she was hired for the G League affiliate of the Dallas Mavericks. She also had a fantastic playing career, which culminated with a WNBA team signing her at age 50 to a 7-day contract as a way of honoring her legacy. Which WNBA team was it? The Detroit Shock, the Phoenix Mercury, or the New York Liberty? Shock, Mercury, or Liberty?
Emily.
I think I'm going to try to miss now. So I'm going to go Mercury.
I think the answer is Mercury.
No.
DeMarco.
Liberty.
Brian.
Liberty.
You're all wrong. It was the Detroit Shock.
Wow.
Where she had also she had also coached. Fun fact I also learned, Sue Lieberman in 1981 played with the Lakers Summer League team.
Wow.
Nancy or Sue?
Excuse me. Sue Lieberman was my aunt. Nancy Lieberman, who did not play with the Lakers Summer League team. Nancy Lieberman. In 1981, she didn't necessarily think it would play a lead to playing in the NBA. She just thought it would help sharpen her game.
Oh.
Okay. How many are left, Andy?
There are 4 left plus a bonus.
All right. I have 3. DeMarco has 1. And you two knuckleheads are both still alive for lucky loser. Here we go.
Catherine Bigelow became the first woman to ever win a Best Director Oscar in 2009 for the movie The Hurt Locker. She also helped develop a new camera that specializes in what? First-person POV shots, high-speed Steadicam shots, or underwater shots. POV, Steadicam, or underwater shots.
This one's me, and I'm going Steadicam. DeMarco.
What was the other one? Give me again.
First-person POV, Steadicam, or underwater.
I think it's Steadicam.
Brian.
Underwater.
Emily.
I'm trying to miss, and she was also married to James Cameron for a bit, but I'm going to go underwater.
You're all wrong. First-person POV shots.
Yes.
That movie?
She developed it. No, it wasn't from this movie. She developed it for the movie Strange Days.
Oh,
okay.
With Ralph Fiennes and Angela Bassett. Really fun. Flopped in the moment, but it's a good movie.
Me and Brian are still alive.
All right, 3 left, right?
3 left plus a bonus.
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey was the first black woman to host a nationally syndicated talk show, Winfrey Show, which the popularity made her the first black billionaire. Over/under on total Emmy wins for Oprah with the Oprah Winfrey Show, either as the host or producer. Over/under 20.
I'll take the under. DeMarco.
Over.
Brian.
Under.
Emily.
Under.
Emily and BC, you are now on the board.
Oh,
We're eliminated.
And John Ireland, you said under 2, correct?
Yeah, I did.
16. She had 16. Likely, though, the big reason it's the under, in 2000, she stopped submitting, seemingly to give everyone else a chance.
Right.
So Brian and I are eliminated, though, right?
Yeah. Well, had there 2 left?
There's 2 left. Yeah,
Yeah, so
everybody's eliminated. I just locked it up. But let's do it.
Okay, well, do you want...
By the way, that's the double.
Yep.
Today.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Aretha Franklin, among many achievements, first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What was her first song to win a Grammy? Chain of Fools, You make me feel like a natural woman or respect. Chain of Fools, Natural Woman, Respect. Her first song to win a Grammy.
I'm going to go Chain of Fools. DeMarco.
I'll go Respect.
Brian.
Natural Woman.
Emily.
Natural Woman.
DeMarco is correct.
Boom.
It was Respect. It won 2 Grammys for Best R&B Recording and Best R&B Solo Vocal Performance.
Freaking
by a female.
anthem in my house.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Let's see. Oh, DeMarco might find this one interesting.
Yeah.
2015, Sarah Thomas became the first woman to referee a regular season NFL game.
I remember this.
I know her.
What injury did she later suffer during a game while reffing Vikings Packers? Torn ACL, broken wrist, high ankle sprain.
I didn't know she got hurt.
Torn ACL, broken wrist, high ankle sprain.
I'll go torn ACL. DeMarco.
Broken wrist or
ankle sprain.
I'll go ACL.
Brian.
Ankle sprain.
Ankle.
You're all wrong. Broken wrist.
She broke her wrist.
There was a collision that I guess she was involved with. They initially checked her out for a concussion. Didn't have a concussion. Went back out and refereed with a broken wrist.
Wow.
John, have you ever met her?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
She's cool. Very cool. But she'll knock you out.
So, John, you have now tied Mason for the most wins this month.
Okay, good. I want to be ahead of him by the time he comes
I
back.
have a bonus involving Lisa Leslie.
Okay.
Go for it.
Lisa Leslie, the first woman to dunk in a WNBA game. She's also an LA legend, playing high school, college, and professional basketball in LA.
And cool as can be.
So nice.
Like
She's
one of the great people in LA sports.
So nice. If you add up her scoring averages for the Sparks regular and playoffs, USC, and her senior year at Morningside High, so scoring averages for regular season and playoff Sparks,
and we're adding
USC,
them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And senior year at Morningside, what's the total number?
And we're not doing like total points scored. It's just
No,
averages.
averages.
Okay.
Averages. Yep.
Oh.
So her career average for the Sparks, regular season and playoffs.
I got a number.
Career at USC, senior year at Morningside.
Brian, you got a number?
Yeah.
What'd you write down?
78.
I wrote down 74. DeMarco?
74?
Yeah.
I was like thinking 48.
Okay, 48. Then
I went super high because I don't even know what we're doing. 120.
BC is the winner, 76.8.
No. Well, yeah, BC almost got
What
it on
is
the
it
number.
broken down?
21.7 points per game for her senior year at Morningside, 20.1 at USC, 17.3 Sparks regular season, 17.5 Sparks playoffs, so playoff rise.
I wrote down 30, 20. I thought Morningside would be 30, USC would be 25, and Sparks would be 20. So I was just a little bit off.
Now I get what you're
I was just a little bit off as well.
Yeah, just a bit outside. All right, you got Travis today?
We got Trav and Trudell.
All right, let's get those guys in here. We'll do a little Supercross talk next. ESPN LA.
High altitude, short rest, and a Western Conference battle awaits for the black and gold.
I want to go!
LAFC hits the road looking for a bounce-back win as they invade Colorado.
LAFC!
Pre-game of LAFC versus Colorado Rapids starts tonight at 6 p.m. on the home of the black and gold, 710 ESPN and ESPN LA app.
Hey guys, it's John Ireland. In all my years of covering sports, one thing is for certain. Great teams walk in with a playbook. So why face your family's future without one? Globe Life makes protecting the people you love simple. And with Globe Life, it's never been easier. You can apply for coverage online or with an agent in just minutes. No complicated strategy, just straightforward protection from a name you already trust. Get your free quote today at globelifeinsurance.com.
Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings, a spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed in fiery Chili Crisp. That's our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. Get them today, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
Rams preseason football is back, and the countdown to kickoff is officially underway. Get your first look at new additions like Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie, alongside stars Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua, to experience every game live and enjoy home playoff ticket access, interest-free monthly payment plans, and exclusive stadium event pre-sales. Explore Rams season tickets today. Visit therams.com/2026. Don't miss out on any of this season's action and get your Rams season tickets now.
prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNLAcontests.com. That's ESPNLAcontests.com.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk. It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Super Crosstalk. Travis Rogers is here. DeMarco Farr is here. Either one of you guys buy the Lakers or the Dodgers while I was gone?
I'm trying to get my group together. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe we should combine our groups, DeMarco.
I'm trying to sell off those Ohtani cards. Every piece of memorabilia
if
I
only
have.
you had that lawnmower you could sell off.
There you go. Why do you have to go there? You just mad at Emily.
This is a Morales-free area for today. And here you go right out of the chute.
All right, so I asked, and Mike Trudell just walked in. Hi,
Yes,
Mike.
sir.
DeMarco, I asked this question earlier, and you can take it any direction you want. Is Jerry Jones successful?
Yes. Don't you think so?
I do.
For where you bought the Cowboys, how much did he buy them for?
I do.
And what they're valued at now, he's got 3 Super Bowls. He's a little eccentric. He's a little crazy, but he knows what he's doing.
Here is the counter-argument presented by Andy Kamenetzky. Why isn't Jerry Jones, in your mind? I said that if I was an owner, I would probably use him as a role model. Andy said he would not.
Why?
Because he is an owner that gets in the way of the football.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He's gone nuts a little bit.
Right. John didn't.
Yeah.
I agreed he is successful. Successful is not the same thing as good at his job. I don't think he is particularly good at his job as he defines it anymore.
He's pretty good. I mean, at talent acquisition, their defense has failed them, but he's always had top-flight players. I think he's got more Hall of Famers than any owner out there right now.
But
and most of those guys were selected personally by him, so he knows what he's doing. Now there's nobody else to kick him out of the room because he is the Dallas Cowboys, but I think of all the owners in the NFL right now, Jerry Jones might be the only one that could run a practice.
Well, no, look, he is really successful. Again, there's no measure by which he's not successful. But if I were an owner, there's a lot Jerry Jones does that I would look at as a lesson how not to do it.
Trav, would you define Jerry Jones as a success or not so much?
I would define him as a success. I don't think I'd want to. I wouldn't want him to own my favorite team, but I would want to have him be somebody that I leaned on how to run a business, if that makes any sense.
Mike, you're a perfect guy to ask this to because you grew up in Minnesota. You are a long-suffering Minnesota Vikings fan. They are one of the few teams in the NFL that has never won a Super Bowl.
Thanks for bringing that up, John.
But would you want Jerry Jones as the owner of the Vikings?
I mean, if you're saying if I could post-date it to when he got the Cowboys,
I'm saying that
or
I don't
like
even
today?
know. I think is Ziggy Wolf still the owner of the Vikings.
Yeah.
If you could take Jerry Jones and trade him for Ziggy Wolf, would you do that trade?
I guess. I mean, the Wolves haven't really done that much for me.
I mean, what is he clinging to?
And he would make things interesting. Yeah. To me, there are a lot of similarities in terms of the overall business and the entertainment part of it that Jerry Jones has in common with Dr. Jerry Buss,
right?
Who I think we've
been talking about for 3 days.
The greatest owner in sports history.
Right.
Now, the difference is that Dr. Buss won a lot more in terms of the championships and or being in the finals.
Can I just add, the other thing he did is he put really talented people in really important positions and let them do their job.
He didn't. He didn't
by
do
the
it all
way,
himself.
I once, when I mentioned it yesterday, years and years ago, back when I had 17 jobs, I was writing feature stories for LA Times Magazine, and when I got the Laker job, I handed that off to my friend Mike Trudell, who succeeded me in that role. And Mike, you did several feature articles for LA Times Magazine, and one of the ones I did was about the Buss family and what it was going to be like after Dr. Buss was gone. And I asked him, Trav, if I had to ask you for a piece of business advice, one piece, what would you say? He said, hire good people and get the hell out of the way.
There you go.
Which
that's what Jerry Jones doesn't do.
Yeah.
That He did
He did with Bill Parcells.
Until Jimmy Johnson.
And then all the shine went to Jimmy Johnson. He said, I don't like this. I'd like to be involved in this. I would like the shine to come my way. And he does hire good people. He does draft good people. They've had a ton of good players.
You know what
to
the
your
problem
point.
was? He actually handpicked Barry Switzer, and it worked.
Yeah,
with Jimmy's play.
Yeah.
But now Jerry thinks I can do it myself.
Yeah,
right, and has thought that for 30 years.
And he just loves the attention. I mean, he still to this day goes straight towards the media. Whereas Dr. Buss, and I was there at the kind of the later years, we would get to talk to him once a year in kind of in a very quiet conference room, no cameras, just beat writers, and he's super smart, super eloquent. But Jerry Jones, he loves the limelight.
Well, that's just the media part. All those owners love to be seen. They don't
like
to
Dr.
talk
Buss
to the
did
media.
so.
But
Wait a minute, DeMarco. Would you say that about Stan Kroenke? He doesn't seem to me like he
doesn't
loves
like to be
seen
by us, but he likes to be seen. Definitely. I mean, they're billionaires.
Okay.
They have yachts.
By the way, this has to be. You guys ever used to watch the TV show Veep?
Yeah.
Okay, great show with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She had an actor, a guy named Tony Hale, who was her assistant, who would stand behind her, and let's say Trav's the vice president of the president, and I'm the assistant, and I am standing behind him, and Trav would walk into a room, and I would very almost nonchalantly whisper, Andy Kamenetzky is in the Pro Bowler hat. DeMarco's in the Los Angeles hat, and that's Mike Trudell in the Green Day shirt. And you would literally, without missing a beat, go, Mike, DeMarco, Andy, great to see you guys, blah, blah, blah. One time, I'm walking through the back hallway, Mike, where you and I have been a million times at now Crypto.com Arena, and I'm flying out of one of the locker rooms, and I literally run into Stan Kroenke. And I almost knocked him over. And I said, oh, my gosh, Stan, I'm so sorry. He goes, hey, John, no problem. There's no way he knew my name. He had to have artists or somebody with him saying, that's John Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, hey, John, no problem.
He played it off, though.
Yeah. And I thought to myself,
oh, yeah.
That'd be great to have that person. Like, because we're all now famous enough. We're not like super famous, but we're famous enough where somebody could walk up to us in a grocery store and go, hey, Mike Trudell, good to see you, man. And your mind is spinning. Have I met this person? Mm-hmm. Do I know them? And it took me years to do this, but I finally stopped trying to come up with names. Like if somebody walked up to me and said that, I go, hey, thanks. How are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
How you been?
Like that. Yeah. Jim Hill's great at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
John, I'll do this for you for a price.
You'll be Tony Hale for the right amount?
Yeah, for a price.
Well, to go back to what we were talking about a second ago, about like Jerry Jones goes towards the media, like you said, and Stan Kroenke wants to be seen, but by different sorts of people.
See how he dresses?
100%.
He likes to be seen.
But I think the biggest difference for me with Jones, and there are others like him, but I think that Kroenke falls into a separate group, is when the game ends, the first person to speak onto what happened about the game is Jerry Jones. Then the coach, then the quarterback, then everyone else. Like, he is the point person for all of this because his opinion matters more than the coaches, than the quarterbacks, and everyone else. Stan Kroenke rarely talks about the team.
Ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, it
never comes out of his mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
But Sean talks about the team.
Right.
Les talks about the team. Matthew Stafford talks about the team. The owner is never like, Jerry, it's like game ends. Where's Jerry? Okay, Jerry talks. And then they go back to Schottenheimer, and then he talks, and they say, Jerry said this. What do you think about this? And Schottenheimer says, well, okay. And then they go to Dak Prescott and say, Jerry said this. Like, he's the football point of the spear, which is unusual. And that part I don't think he's successful at, but making money and pumping up the NFL.
He might be the only one in any sport anymore that does that.
I can't come up with
towards the media, or is the
Bob
man?
Kraft a little bit.
He will, yeah.
No NBA owner speaks after games ever.
Cuban, back in the day.
So he's the closest. Yeah. Cuban for a while would kind of take questions.
Matt Ishbia strikes me as the type of guy who would like gravitate towards cameras, but he's now in some financial trouble. So.
Do the Warriors guys say anything?
Joe Lacob, Joe Lacob is not shy. Let's put it that way.
Baseball doesn't talk.
But hey, tell me if you agree with this.
Well, Steinbrent
only under.
That's true.
Only under subpoena.
Right. Oh, speaking of which, zing. So I ran into somebody. I was at Ralph's, and I ran into somebody, and they said, "I just hate this infighting with the Buss family because it tarnishes Dr. Buss's legacy. And I said, no, it doesn't.
I agree with you.
I said, it's untarnishable. I said, Dr. Buss, when he was alive, was the greatest owner in the history of team sports. And, Andy, you made this point earlier in the show today that sometimes when you hand down the team to your kids, it just doesn't go well.
Well, I mean,
but I don't think Dr. Buss wears any of the dysfunction that's going on now. Do you guys?
Yes, to some degree he does. And the reason is because he should have been able to predict that his adult children would never be able to do this because there was more than ample evidence that they don't get along.
Really?
And
but how do you...
Day one?
From every moment that I've been around the Lakers, I mean, Jim and Jeanie used to openly feud.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've had the other stuff going on with the other siblings. And, like, it's during Dr. Buss's lifetime, the later lifetime, it was very clear that getting the 6 of them to work together on this thing was going to be tenuous at best. And I'm not saying that I don't blame him for trying it anyway, I guess. But a lot of these problems we're seeing now were actually kind of predictable.
But you could look at like any historical just kingdom.
Yes.
And the king trying to hand down the kingdom
Like,
to the
it's right out
firstborn.
of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I dropped off our youngest Riggs at kindergarten today. He's our last one to go through kindergarten. It's like, okay, he's through the gates. Like, we have done our best, right?
But you don't know how it's going to go.
But the gate closed, right? And then it's
great,
on him.
That's a great comment.
So
yeah.
you can parents, I guess, can be held to a certain account. And generally speaking, the people that I know that I love the most have good parents. So I think that's a connectivity. But you can only do so much.
He did set up something that, in a lot of ways, pitted his children against each other. And these were kids that didn't really get along that well.
Except, you know
anyway.
what, Andy? I was around both of them. Like, I've interviewed Jim and Jeanie and Dr. Buss all in the same setting. I mean, it was years ago. And it wasn't hostile. It's almost like they put on a brave face in front of their dad.
I was going to say, I wonder if they did it to please the father.
Yeah, it's like, if you and your siblings get invited to, like, Mike, you have a brother and a sister. Even if you're not getting along, if you go to your parents' house, you probably play nice.
100%.
Just not to upset parents. All right, so I'm going to sneak this in. Brian, who came back today, great to have you back, BC.
Hey, BC.
From his honeymoon cruise in Alaska.
Ooh.
Wait, I was just on a cruise in Alaska.
You might have been waving at Trudell on the other side of the boat.
Orcas? Did you see any orcas?
We saw
he
whales.
Had a great question in Fast Track today that I just want a quick answer from the three of you guys. All right, we live in a world of name, image, and likeness. College players are paid because their games are on TV and they generate a ton of revenue. For the next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, every single day we're looking at this. The Little League World Series in Williamsport. These kids, these 12-year-old kids, are providing programming for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Travis, should they be paid?
Yes.
Mike?
At the very least, they shouldn't have to pay anything to be there. So room and
DeMarco?
board, etc.
I'm with him. You can't pay these kids this early, can you? You're making wow.
Put it into a fund.
Our buddy, buddy Ed Hart texted me. He goes,
subsidize
the way to get around this is
you endow scholarships on behalf of each of these kids.
Each kid gets a college fund courtesy of ESPN.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
Perfect.
but
start at $5.29.
Cash.
Right.
No, you're not going to give them cash so they can go buy baseball cards and
DeMarco,
gum.
money handshake.
But if you said to me, look, I'm going to endow a scholarship for this young man who's batting right now, and he's going to go to Stanford, okay? You just gave that kid $1 million.
Right.
That's what it costs to go to Stanford. That's $1 million education.
The problem is that, some teams are, let's say the California team is that they win it. They're there for 3 weeks. That what the team from Illinois is there for a day.
Yeah.
So what do you give?
You get
them
to
$100?
The concept of them providing programming which ESPN is selling and profiting from.
If you get to Williamsport, just like anything else, there are tiers.
Make a good
so
point.
we're going.
Make a great point.
My kids' team. There's this huge tournament in Cooperstown every year. All right, it's like 100+ teams. We're going next year. And they already started kind of fundraising for it. Now that's not on TV though, right? So
you can't make the argument I'm making.
But for these kids, it is on TV. ESPN is paying a certain amount for it. But there should be a percentage of it that's going back to the kids.
Slippery slope.
Right, exactly.
Agents at birth.
All right, a three-headed monster coming at you next. DeMarco, Travis, and Trudell. Andy, thank you for this. ESPN.